Welcome to Newport. The New York Yacht Club puts on such a great regatta.
It looks like this year is going to be probably one of the most competitive editions of this regatta, so we're excited. So it's going to be competitive, and there's a lot of great sailors at this event, and that's why we're excited to be here.
Enjoy the Corinthian spirit that is the cornerstone of this event.
We're really looking forward to a great week.
Sailing's premier Corinthian keelboat regatta continued today in Newport, Rhode Island, with 3 more races sailed in Narragansett Bay on day 2 of the 2021 Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup. Ireland's Royal Cork Yacht Club, who along with regatta host New York Yacht Club has competed in every edition of this event, started with a bullet in the day's first race, moving them up in the standings. (2017) Invitational Cup winner Southern Yacht Club returned with a win in the next one, which put them in the lead overall going into the last race. The breeze built to almost 20 knots in the final race, which gave sailors challenging beats and exhilarating runs, with boat speeds topping 16 knots. Eastern Yacht Club led all the way around the course until a wipeout in their final jibe opened the door for the San Francisco Yacht Club to take the win. But it was Southern Yacht Club who posted the day's best score of 4th, 1st, and 3rd to give them the overall regatta lead.
Today was very tough. We were way up the bay today, and you had the wind was influenced by 2 different islands, and then the current was, of course, against us all day. It was very side-oriented today, and whether the left worked or the right worked was kind of the guessing game. It was just extremely difficult. The puffs were in and out. The velocity was going from 6 knots to 15 knots. Just kind of getting that top 10 finish. That's the main thing today. I mean, today was one of those days where you can't just, it's not a straightforward kind of day. So it was tough.
Racing continues tomorrow among the 19 Yacht Club teams here in Newport, Rhode Island. The 2021 Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup is brought to you by title sponsor Rolex, regatta sponsors Hammett's Hotel and Helly Hansen, supplier Team 1 Newport, and hosted by the New York Yacht Club. Hello and welcome back to the 2021 Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup here in Newport, Rhode Island, where the sport's top amateur sailors are here to compete against the very best yacht club teams in the world. Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson, again with Andy Green in the studio here at Harbor Court at the New York Yacht Club, and we've reached day number 3, the halfway point in this regatta. Andy, we're 6 races in, and one thing we've learned is the racing is challenging, and this could very well be a high-scoring regatta. Even some of the top-ranked teams have been all over the leaderboard.
Absolutely. We saw Southern Yacht Club, current leaders with 21 points, but half of those points were accumulated in race 2, where they got a 10th. Royal Thames Yacht Club still nudging it in the top 10. They've got 30 points with a 2-2-1 889. No, so not such a good day for them yesterday. Royal Cork Yacht Club on the up and up with a 166 yesterday. New York Yacht Club with a 3, 5, and 12. That final race yesterday really gave them something to think about. And Eastern Yacht Club with 32 points as well. San Diego Yacht Club on the up too. They are best of the rest on 44 points. Yesterday, certainly moving day, but as we've seen from previous regattas, 9 points is a slimmest of margin, and places 2 to 5 all within 9 points, 10, 11 points down to 33. So we are on the outside course today, the ocean course. There's a northerly breeze, but potentially that's dying. There's been a lot of weather this morning. We saw 40 knots over the deck, but that is changing all the time. We've also, as well as Katie Nastro, may have a call in with Kenny Reed shortly just to get his perspective as the president of North Sails.
Oh, that would be very cool. Well, first let's go down onto the water. The third person of our commentary team is Katie Nastro. Katie, how are the conditions offshore today?
Hey there, Tucker, Andy. I definitely think I, again, have the best seat in the house, but it's a little wetter out here for me. We have a lumpy sea state, and the breeze is definitely up. We're seeing about 10 to 15, maybe a little bit more, but then again, that was earlier in the day when the boats first got out here, but we are under AP, and since we've been under AP for the last 10 or so minutes, the breeze has gone a little bit right, but again, it is going to be lumpy. That tide is going in.
And I thank you for updating us on where we are with the signal boat. So we're under a postponement. Any indication of how long that might be?
Tucker, I don't have any real knowledge of when that might get taken down, but I am just seeing now from the RC that they would like to possibly start without this boat, this one boat that needed to change out their sails and provide redress. So hopefully soon we will be getting started, but can't confirm.
Yeah,
right.
That's boat number 11, Itchner Sailing Club, who had a problem with their mainsail, and well, we are still an AP. There is talk, as Katie just said there, about possibly sailing without them and giving them redress further on later. We're up in the drone now, just giving you an idea of the race course. Overcast, plenty of weather changes around. We had storms and tornadoes. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning holding the boat on the dock. It was pretty exciting. Now, I hope that we've got here with us Kenny Reed. Ken, give us your perspective and what's going on out on the race course.
Yeah, it's kind of a dark, nasty old day. Kate summed it up well there. I was listening to your broadcast, guys. First of all, nice job. You actually have a few people watching now, so that's a good sign. Yeah, these are frustrating days, right? From a sailor standpoint, you just want to get going. There's enough breeze to obviously get going. Little niggly problems here and there get in the way of starting a good race every once in a while. But, they just got to keep figured that it's probably a 2-race day. I don't know if that's been announced yet, but as we get later in the day, most likely a 2-race day. They're well outside. They have to be well offshore because of the northerly breeze, and it's going to be shifty. That just be ready for it. This is eyes outside the boat. There's not a lot of local knowledge out there on a day like today. This is just keep your head out, and whoever sees the breeze the best, whoever has that little tiny bit of speed every once in a while, that's get across the bow instead of having to lee bow or duck. Those are the little details that are going to make the difference. Sounds like a normal sailboat race day to me. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, Ken, as your position of president of North Sails, we had some technical questions yesterday. Give us a little summary of the sail plan and the rigs on the boat, what is adjustable, and trim, and give us some insight.
Well, listen, first of all credit to the New York Yacht Club for making this incredible investment in a fleet of boats that, frankly, are perfect for this style of racing. Were they made to be the most Grand Prix boats in the world, right on the edge? Absolutely not. Were they made to go fast and have fun and be kind of hard enough to sail to really put amateur crews like this to the test? Absolutely. But one of the big goals was not just to make them identical, but was to make them simple. So we actually did just a 3-sail inventory. There's one jib, one kite, and one main, and you got to make those sails work. And as long as they're all identical, they all come off the same mold, As long as they're all identical, then everybody's in the same spot from a sail and technically a sail trim standpoint. But one of the really cool features of the boats is, first of all, it's identical tuning. You're not allowed to change any of the shroud tensions, the D1s, the D2s, the cap shrouds, the head stay. You're only allowed to adjust the running backstays, which they all have. And then secondly, you can adjust the mast jack pressure. So you can tighten the shrouds or loosen the shrouds while not sailing, and that's a key part. You can't do this while sailing. You can take plates out from underneath the mast because the mast jacks are built into the mast really, really easily. All the teams will be doing this, changing the shroud tensions. It probably gives a bit of an advantage to the people who have sailed the boats the most. You know, when do you make that switch? When do you pull a plate? When do you put a plate in? And right up to the 4-minute gun, you can do it. So those are all definite decisions that are going to have to be made. You know, sometimes simple is really hard. And in that case, I think, you know, it's a real challenge to the sailors to be able to do it right.
Excellent. And just before we get back down to the water, just give us your perspective as one of the major higher ups of sailing. What is the state of big boat sailing now after 18 months sort of challenging life?
Well, challenging life might be that it's very rare that you are understated, Andy, my boy. I think challenge might be the biggest understatement of the century. Listen, it's slowly coming back. This summer, it's felt pretty normal around here in Newport. Europe is still probably struggling a little bit more. I mean, everybody reads the newspapers. Everybody knows what's going on. But, I mean, racing, you know, I wouldn't call it back full bore yet. We just had a wonderful maxi boat worlds over in Costa Smeralda. Saint-Tropez is still on in a couple weeks. You know, some of these big events are all happening, but they're not without their challenges. And
people keen to get, presumably people itching to get back out and to hang out with friends and to go racing. There must be some pent-up demand.
Well, there's clearly pent-up demand, but we need people, you know, as an industry, we just want people out there sailing. We want people to use their boats and use the stuff on their boats and be surrounded by their friends, whether it's big pro events or amateur events like this. It really doesn't matter. Just get, you know, the theory is just get the boats off the dock. And so that's happening. It's happening as quick as events are opening themselves up. But, you know, a lot of these events are being smart at the same time, and let's just hope that the world gets back to a little bit more normal place sooner rather than later.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks, Kenny. We're just trying to follow in your footsteps of amazing America's Cup commentary, and I'm now going to pass to Tucker. I think you've got some updates, racing starting shortly. Kenny, we'll see you as a guest on Saturday. Thanks for your input.
You got it. See you, fellas. Good job.
How cool to have Kenny Reed live with us. It's great of him to call in. President of North Sails. He was also been involved in this regatta since its inception in 2009. He was on board with Phil Lotz with the first winner of the regatta. Back then they allowed pros. And actually, he was one of the people that said, hey, you don't need pros in this regatta. It should be all amateurs. Coming from one of the sport's top pros, I think that was a very impressive comment. And now that's exactly what the New York Yacht Club has here in the Invitational Cup. Let's go out on the water to Katie Nastro to get an update on the postponement. I'm told it may be coming down soon. Katie, are you there?
Yes, Tucker, we are getting word it will be down shortly. A few more minutes.
Nice.
We will have that AP down, and then it looks, or it appears, they would like to get a race 5. So, and 5.
Okay, great. We're on board with Southern Yacht Club right now. They were just taking a little trip to the pin end of the starting line, just making sure they knew exactly where the geometry of the line is. That's all about pre-start preparation. We've got Johnny Lovell there on the helm, and I got a message from his brother Andy Lovell this morning, yesterday, saying he was so excited by the racing and it was so hot where he was, he jumped on a plane and he is here today to watch this action live and direct. I'm sure he's trying to thumb his way out onto the race course and get a lift off one of these boats. for some super spectating in the ocean course. The swell is down considerably, but the ocean course still offers a lot of challenges, slightly different from yesterday. And because we talked about earlier the amount of weather that is around, there was a big front that came through. It's a little chillier today, the breeze from the north, but probably a dying breeze that will be replaced by a bit of a southerly. Will there be a fight? Will the clouds clear? Who's to know? Not me, I'm no meteorologist, but we'll try and get you the very latest as we move forwards with this broadcast. 2 races probably today at best, and there will be plenty of action. Southern Yacht Club leading with 21 points. Royal Thames in second with 30. Royal Cork in third with 30. New York Yacht Club in fourth with 32. Eastern Yacht Club in fifth with 32. It looks like bow number 11, Itchener Sailing Club, will be the boat that is going to be out. They may sail if they get their mainsail up in time. We will be looking forward to seeing if Itchener can get onto the racecourse, the little club that could. Love it.
We certainly hope they do. Not sure what went on, but they do have spare sails. The question is about timing, I believe. They can get it out in the water quick enough. Very rare to actually switch a main out. But while they work on that, Katie, back out on the water there. Luckily, we're going to get started pretty soon. Give us an idea of the breeze that you're seeing out there, the current, and also what side you think these teams might be favoring, or just basically what the beat's going to look like in this race number 6.
Yes, Tucker. So from what I can see, it is breeze up. It does appear to be going right a bit. So I would anticipate that we are going to see a lot of boats starting or fighting to start at that boat end. But up, we have AP down. We have AP down, and that warning should be soon. So I think we're going to get underway here. Yeah, Sea State is big. It is lumpy. So it's going to be a bow down and try to just get off that line and go. The tide will be coming in as we go on throughout the day, so I anticipate that the teams will be looking at those lobster pots whenever they get the chance to figure out if they can get outside of that wake. And yeah, this is going to be an exciting day, 2 races, and I'm sure that even if the breeze dies a bit, all of these sailors are ready to go, and I can't wait to get this off.
So are we.
Awesome, excellent action. And one of the questions I'm going to ask Kenny Reid either later or on Saturday where he joins us is what sort of trim we're going to be looking out for on these boats in the ocean course when it's a little bit more bumpy and choppy, as Katie alluded to, especially in the really difficult when the breeze actually dies. Potentially you've got a little too much tension on the mast that Kenny was talking about technically earlier in the pre-race show, and how that will affect how much trim you want, how much twist you have, mainsail, jib, and all that. So keep your eyes open, folks. I'm sure some of you are definitely experts, particularly those sitting in your armchairs at home, enjoying what is now just a bit of a clearing day here in Newport. The cloud just rising and scattering a bit. Looks to be a lovely afternoon for a couple of races at the Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational.
Yeah, and Andy, you bring up a very good point. Keeping these boats powered up is absolutely key for the sail trimmers. And if the rigs have been set for a higher wind range and the breeze dies a little bit and that chop stays, it's going to be very challenging for them to keep shifting gears and powering the boats up, particularly in the light spots. Back on board again with Southern Yacht Club, Johnny Lovell there driving. The first time when they won this regatta, he was actually calling tactics, and Marcus Egan was driving. Now they have switched. Johnny Lovell's driving. Marcus is calling tactics. Both of them have a resume longer than we could possibly go through in one show. Impressive sailors. And they're currently in the lead overall. I believe we are within 5 minutes to go.
Certainly looks that way. We are going to get an update on start time. Let me check my race committee WhatsApp, because they usually give us exactly what's going on. A great set of amateur but extremely competent race committee from the New York Yacht Club, one of the oldest and most established yacht clubs. Here we are with Southern Yacht Club. They look calm and composed. All 19 boats, 11 is competing. So Itchener have got their act together. They are on the race course. Good on you, Barry Sampson and gang.
And I've got an update on Itchener. They will sail, as you say, Andy, but they will not have a sail number. So the only boat out there that we can't recognize the number, that's going to be Itchener. As Johnny Lovell puts the helm down to jibe. I got to guess we're halfway through the start sequence, folks. When we get the time into the broadcast, we will let you know as well. In the meantime, we'll watch the attitude of the boats, both on on board and on the water and here on TrackTrack Live. And you can follow the action on TrackTrack.com. Look up Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup, and you can follow the fleet while you follow the footage from the live broadcast as the boats set up for the line. Now, I'm going to guess about 2 minutes-ish, maybe a little less than 2 minutes, because they're all on port getting ready to tack onto the final starboard tack approach into the line. Andy, we've seen a lot of over-earlies, even general recalls, as this fleet gets jittery when they approach the line.
Yeah, well, thanks for everyone watching now. We had a little, we had a few technical issues of our own here, a little water in the internet earlier, so we had to restart the stream. I hope you've all found it okay, but here we are, and that just gives us a little issue with the timing, so you'll have to bear with us. But those of you who are watching the stream will be able to make your own decision about when the start comes along, but we'll do our very best to get you the exact time. There is about a 30-second delay between real time and what we can actually see on the pictures here. That allows the pictures to get out from the ocean course into the yacht club here at our base at Harbour Court. So not far off. I'd give that a minute and 20. That'll be my guess right now, maybe a minute and 40, a little away from the line. Slight bit of left to right tide as we look at it. That's holding the boats back a touch. And the boats slow down quite quickly in this bumpy breeze, these bumpy waves, and the lightning breeze.
There we go.
Ooh, 22 seconds, only that. Well,
surprise, surprise. Get ready, guys.
Right, here we go. The boat's very light on the line here from what we saw yesterday. Get up, get up, get on.
Yeah, get going. I tell you what, that tide, I think, is holding a lot of the fleet back. Big midline sag. In fact, every single boat except one at the pin is going to be late for the start. Bang.
Well,
there is the gun. Look at them struggling, Andy, to get up over the line. We're in a light spot in the breeze, but the chop has remained.
Yeah, who is that? Very confident. Oh dear, bow. What is that? Bow number
5.
Royal Canadian Yacht Club was that? Didn't make it. Bow number 5, Royal Canadian now on port. Royal Swedish bow number 6 had to peel away. Bow number 17 did a nice job, San Diego Yacht Club. But the boat in the middle, who were absolutely faithful to themselves about not being over the line, I think that was Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. Did a super job. They have not had the best regatta.
Which bow number was that?
Royal Bermuda was
at the pin?
At the pin, 17.
San Diego,
Yep.
17, San Diego.
Uh-huh.
You can see them upper left of screen. That's American Yacht Club, and then on board here, Southern. Southern, not the greatest start. American Yacht Club looks to be pinching Johnny Lovell off. Lovell and crew in a tough position in this chop to stay tight to windward there. And of course, they probably can't attack, Andy. Other boats on their breeze. Let's check in with TrackTrack.
Yeah, Royal Thames didn't have a great start there either. They now had to peel away from the pin on port, and I think that may just show a little left-hand shift, and that would indicate, because Southern Yacht Club struggling to hold their lane here. Look at that. Messy start. Not good from the fleet, but some of the boats will really take heed from that. Royal Bermuda, very nice indeed. Royal Cork now heading out to the right-hand side. Top of screen, that's Itchner. Just behind them, Royal Cork. Then Hoth Yacht Club, who we've got a little bit more to say about later in the show because Katie caught up with them this morning. And then it is on the right-hand side.
Eastern.
Eastern, yeah. So
Punched.
Closer towards us, San Diego Yacht Club Argentina, American Yacht Club. Southern Yacht Club had to bail out. They had to tack. They are underneath Vancouver and now on board with Southern. This is what you have to do when you bail out. You see boats passing you and you've got to go fast, but you've also got to keep your eyes on the starboard tackers. We are on port right now. We do not have right of way. So if there's another starboard tacker, you'll see the mainies, the jibbies, someone will jump off, but it actually looks like they're comfortable now and they get their trimmer on the rail. That suggests that they don't have any more ducks coming up.
Andy, look at that big dip in the middle.
Yeah, middle of the line, not good. That suggests there was probably 0.4, 0.5 of a knot of tide against. Bow 8 looking kind of handy there. That is American Yacht Club from Long Island, just north, sorry, not Long Island, just north of New York. Rye, New York, that's it.
And I can tell you they had a very serious, somber-looking crew meeting after the briefing this morning. And I actually made a comment that it looked a little too serious, but obviously it paid off because they are leading right now. So whatever they talked about, I'd love to know what it was, what they changed. This is a spectacular race for American Yacht Club.
Yeah, nothing worse than a somber crew meeting, is there? Seriously, no one likes that.
Well, they like this performance so far.
Okay, track showing Eastern Yacht Club, Itchner, San Diego, Royal Thames, Royal Cork, Costa Smeralda, Yacht Club Italiano. Nylandska Yacht Kluben doing very nicely on the right-hand side, just underneath us though.
Now Andy, let's bring Katie back into the broadcast here. Katie, if you can hear us, I know you're out on the water, best seat in the house. What do you make of the fleet, of the course, of the conditions out there?
Yeah, Tucker, we are following along on the left side of the course right now. My former teammate, I'm cheering him on. Tyler Stinks is leading the pack to that left-hand side. I'm looking right now at American Yacht Club, and they're really doing really fantastic. I know they had a kind of a rough start, not the best start to the regatta. So I definitely think after, like you said, that crew meeting really, I got them in gear. And right behind them, Royal Vancouver Yacht Club, as well as my new friends, Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. I had the pleasure of being on board with them 2 days ago, and just a really super crew. Everybody super tight-knit. You know, they've never sailed in an IC-37 before, so they got to Newport early, had some time on the boat to just kind of work it out. But an interesting fact, they're sailing with 8. So I know that they are a little bit nervous in the bigger breeze to not have that extra person that a lot of these crews are sailing with. But you know what? They're in the mix. They're really going for it, and it appears that they have boat speed. So I don't think they should have anything to worry about.
All right, terrific. And how about what side of the course looks like it may be paying off? We can see on track, but you've got the box seat there right down in waterline.
Yeah, right. So everybody that is heading left is now tacking over to port to kind of hedge out back to that right side. So I believe that it is shifting right a bit. I honestly wouldn't have headed out so far to the right. I think these boats that are kind of staying more conservative to the left and then heading right are going to pay out. But again, we're so far down in the beat that it's anybody's game at this point. It is just put that bow down and go. Last
question, are you seeing a lot of big shifts out there, or is it more of a boat speed race upwind?
Definite boat speed. We are not seeing a lot of tacking, and with this sea state, I think a lot of these teams are just, yes, they're trying to play the shifts, but they're also just trying to get their own lane and really just keep clean air and just get that boat speed up and try to just use their know-how to get through this rough. It is kind of gnarly out there.
Gnarly. All right. Thank you, Katie. We'll check back in with you periodically throughout the race. Here's Royal Vancouver Yacht Club, Andy, from Canada. Their first Invitational Cup. Looking good.
Yeah, the Maple Leaf flying proud at the back of their boat. And I think the start for me was very unusual from what we've seen over the last 6 races competed. There was a big difference in the boats that got the good starts and the boats that got the not so good starts. Yep. And that suggests to me, and I'm looking at Southern Yacht Club, who have been attacking in the middle of the race course, trying to find clear air. Here we are on board with them. It is all about boat speed, digging themselves out from the rest of the pack just to make sure that they're in the top few as they get in towards the top mark. Our current leaders, overall, we are with them on board. Look at Johnny Lovell, focused. He said in the press conference or the notes for media yesterday that a few times he looked around the boat and his tactician, Mr. Egan, said, just close your mouth and drive.
Well, that's one thing he certainly can do well, is drive fast. Currently, the regatta leader, Andy, as you say, by 9 points. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, this will be a high-scoring regatta. They've already racked up 10th place, and they're currently sitting in 10th on this beat, but anything can happen in this 4-leg course.
Royal Vancouver now, we're just with them, bow 15. They tacked onto port, and the crucial thing is here, while we stay with them, can they cross those boats on starboard? Can they get enough going forwards just to get ahead of them? Because if they don't get ahead, they have to do another tack. Here we are with Eastern Yacht Club and Itchner Sailing Club. They've had the most dramatic morning of anybody, having to change a mainsail and getting a little bit of a delay from the race committee. But look, they banged the right-hand side. They started the committee boat end, and they are looking good.
They are with Eastern Yacht Club. That is your first and second place teams so far on this beat. Eastern Yacht Club is a bit of a sleeper cell, Andy. They finished third and fourth in these regattas before, I believe. I'll double check that. But what that, no, fourth and third. Right now, they are currently sitting in fifth, but if they keep sailing the way they are, we could see them on the podium.
Oh yeah, I mean, there are only 11 points behind the leaders, Southern Yacht Club. 2 races with a 4 or 5 point lead, and you are right back in the hunt. And as we've seen, it's very easy to get 8, 9, 10, 12th place finishes for any of these top 5 teams.
Particularly on a day like today, this will shuffle the deck a little bit, won't it?
Oh yeah, look at Royal Vancouver Yacht Club hitting a couple of those waves and hobby horsing around like a nodding donkey. Not good for them. You've got to try and keep it as smooth as you can. Bounce, bounce, bounce. That is not fast. You've got to ease the sails a bit, just ease the runner to put a bit of twist in the mainsail, and then as soon as the power comes back on, start winding it on and get the bow up to get as tighter up to the breeze as you possibly can. Big spread in the fleet.
Now, lower left of your screen, Andy, that is Southern Yacht Club. Johnny Lovell's already started to pick his way up through the fleet, through the standings. Just behind them, if you look 3 boats to windward, is a boat that is punched on port. That's San Diego Yacht Club, and they are going to face the rightmost boat, Eastern Yacht Club. This will give us an idea in a couple minutes of whether the far right or the far left has paid off as San Diego and Southern meet, but not Southern, sorry, Eastern. But Southern doing a great job upwind so far. They're just ticking through these waves quite comfortably on board. Johnny Lovell and crew.
Yep. What are the other points of the compass? Royal Western Yacht Club, I think that's in Falmouth or Falmouth, I think, in the UK. They run the Transat race for many years from there to Newport. What about the Northern Yacht Club?
The Royal Northern?
I don't know if there's a Royal one, but anyone who's listening in, give us a little top tip on where the Northern Yacht Club is so we can do all points of the compass as we very smoothly sail along with Johnny Lovell.
Let's tack.
Yeah, let's tack. Okay, change the script a little bit, and as you can see, the lighter crews are the first to move. Get on that runner. Oh, it's bouncy though. Get the winch handle in, start winding on, and there you go. That is winch between the legs. What a great position to be able to do that from.
Duck.
They're figuring all this out. Here's a duck. That's a good idea. Close. They are ducking.
Big mayonnaise.
Big mayonnaise behind Yacht Club Costa Smeralda. Oh, and the worst thing happens after a duck is that you get slammed on by the Royal Thames Yacht Club. So Johnny Lovell's going to be trying to get distance in between them. That was a lovely bit of onboard footage there. Thank you for that, for our great team at Icarus. Here we go.
Royal Bermuda, number 20.
Yeah, Royal Bermuda, not looking too bad right there.
Out to the right-hand side, it looks like. Is that right?
Hard on the right. Royal Bermuda, lovely place, the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. I was there only a few months ago, sailing back from the Caribbean, and
rough life.
Some good memories in Bermuda. Very nice. Eastern Yacht Club currently leading. Eyes on Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, another beautiful yacht club for those that haven't been. Man, the woodworking finish and the swimming pool.
Yes, they can certainly throw a cocktail party too.
Yeah, they
Beautiful
can.
Spot.
On the Amalfi Coast in Sardinia, and had a lot of good times. Kenny Reed earlier in the pre-race show was telling us about the Maxi Worlds that have just finished, hosted there annually by the Yacht Club Costa Smeralda.
Okay, let's try to bring Katie back in the broadcast. We passed the halfway point on this upwind leg. Katie, on track, we're looking at San Diego Yacht Club on port from the left, your buddies, and then Eastern Yacht Club approaching them on starboard. Which side do you think is going to pay off halfway up the beat here?
Hey there, Tucker. Yeah, I might have to eat my words. I think Eastern Yacht Club might be in a better position looking at the course now. And they have great boat speed, and Bill Lind had a great last race yesterday. So he might be riding that high still, and I think he's out for blood.
Maybe we can zoom in on track to the right-hand side of the course. There's a very important cross between leaders, San Diego Yacht Club and Eastern Yacht Club.
And American, yes.
And American, all
really
three.
Close. Go right into those leaders, right in the middle of the race course. There we go. Lovely. Keep going in, nice and tight between those guys. Center of screen. So
San Diego on port, American Yacht Club also on port. This is a very important cross. If American can cross Eastern, who's on starboard, then that's going to show you that San Diego likely will as well. So San Diego will be looking below their boom right here.
Oh, so American Yacht Club, boat speed is down. That suggests that they are pinching quite high just to get around them. And just about squeezing around, and Eastern Yacht Club have given it to them, put the bow down going fast, and now we'll see American Yacht Club probably speed up a little bit as they go bow down. So lovely there. Now we can zoom out and have a look at the rest of the fleet as we see that cross.
That was a very crucial cross for San Diego Yacht Club, because that means, yes, they are also going to cross Eastern, and that's going to give them the advantage in the fleet from the left-hand side. They are punched on the rest of the fleet, and now they can decide when they want to attack. Will they hit Eastern Yacht Club, in fact, or continue farther to the right?
And NYC, is that Nylandska Yacht Club?
Norotan Yacht Club.
Very good.
Actually, I've got something about Norotan Yacht Club. I spoke to their tactician, Scott McLeod, this morning. He told me that Brian Crane, the mainsail trimmer, has 3 kids. They are all watching from different parts of the country. They're on a WhatsApp, a shared WhatsApp, and they're watching their dad race and listening to the commentary. Listening to you and I, Andy, clearly they might not have much better to do. No, just kidding. We'd like to thank Willie, Ian, and Olivia for joining us.
One of them's in Alaska, so he's definitely
Olivia.
doesn't have that much to do. Well, that's probably not right. She's probably hunting bears and just being total bad. There we go. Okay, carry on. San Diego Yacht Club, American Yacht Club, Eastern Yacht Club, Itchenor Sailing Club, and Royal Thames back in it in the middle of the fleet. We are getting to the final throws as we come towards the top mark. This is all going to be about course management, but certainly it looks like the right-hand side, top of screen, has been the gaining area of the race course.
Well, they came from the middle left. That's where we see these 2 teams here. Southern Yacht Club is number 3. I'm just going to give you an idea of who that is just to leeward of them. Where's Southern Yacht Club on here? You guys can do the same thing we can in the broadcast. Jump on tracktrack.com and follow the 3D graphics of the actual race itself. Plus, you can replay it and watch the other races. Where? Okay, that's
top left on the screen right now. Pictures we're looking at. That is
Southern.
San Diego Yacht Club, top left. Behind them, just crossing on starboard. Underneath them, American. In the middle of screen, it is Eastern on starboard.
So you know what this shows you, Andy? It's not so much one side or the other. It's one side of the starting line or the other. The boats that were punched at the pin made the left work, and the boats that were punched at the boat end here, Eastern Yacht Club, has come from the right. The middle, however, has suffered and has wind shadows and basically slowing each other down in the middle there. So the 2 ends have paid off. Andy?
Royal Thames, just to leeward of bow 3, that's Southern. So Royal Thames also doing what they can. They are hoping they don't get tacked on. They've just managed to get through, punch it through. Royal Thames and Southern. This is a good battle going on right here.
Andy, remember when Royal Thames lee bowed Southern? Looked like it was a tough spot, and look where Southern is. They have hung in there. Not only that, they've actually gained gauge to windward without losing distance. That is impressive.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Kenny Reed at some point today, perhaps on the beginning of the downwind, just to get his idea. One of the real secrets of these boats was how much mast jack pressure they put in, and none of the crews are really talking about it. It's the big secret. But you said Southern were hanging in there, and now just there, tiny little right-hand shift, and the Royal Thames just start to come into shot a little bit more, and it makes it a very difficult spot for Johnny Lovell to drive there.
You know what amazes me about what Johnny's doing, though? Look how little tiller movement there is with these huge swells and trying to keep the boat powered up. It's just a couple inches back and forth. He's got this thing in a very, very tight groove.
Yeah, okay, we've got an update from one of our sailing fans. North Sydney Yacht Club, Northern Yacht Club in North Sydney, and one in Nova Scotia. There you go.
What about the Royal Southeastern Club?
Southwest Shingles.
Yep, oh boy. Just as we gave Johnny Lovell all that credit, now he's pounding through some big waves, and that's not going to help.
That's a really tough place to be, and he probably can't tack away because he's got to get towards that right-hand ley line. So he's giving it away to the Royal Thames. This a great battle between the first and the second place teams overall.
Give me some trim.
Yeah, give me a little more trim. I need to squeeze it higher. We're starting to get dirty air, and that bad air will just affect them. And every time you put the bow down, it feels difficult, a really tough place to sail from. And those of you experienced helmsmen out there will really feel for Johnny Lovell on those shots.
But here you can see it's a game of the lesser of two evils. He can't do 2 tacks. There's a limit mark, and he's got to get to the starboard ley line. So just hang in there and try to live and try not to lose much gauge. Meanwhile, out in front, San Diego Yacht Club, American Yacht Club, and Eastern fighting it out. It's going to be San Diego who has tacked on ley line, starboard ley line for mark number 1. Out in the lead, Tyler Sinks is here for revenge after leading the entire regatta in 2019 until one Spinnaker mistake, or not Spinnaker, but one mistake at the top mark, if I recall correctly, Andy, took them out of the regatta. So he's looking to gain some points back. And you know, there's so many teams that can win this regatta and so many teams that are competing here, including Southern Yacht Club, Royal Thames, Royal Canadian. It's a high-scoring regatta. Here we go around the top mark. Number 17, San Diego. Tyler Sinks and crew. Very good gauge between first and second place. That's probably at least 7 boat lengths. And we'll see these boats surf these swells downwind as they roll into the hoist.
I think we were talking about Southern Yacht Club. We had some great shots on board. I think that is Katie Lovell. I think that is Johnny Lovell's wife doing the runners and doing a great job of it too. Here's the hoist. So
20 seconds. That's the difference between first and second. As
bow number
Eastern.
Bow number 6. No, that's Royal Swedish Yacht Club doing very, very nice. And then here we go, bow number 16. This is Eastern, and you're not allowed to pull your Spinnaker pole out too soon. Otherwise, you can get a penalty. I think you have to be hoisting. Tucker.
Yeah, Katie, I know you're at the top mark. It looks like some late port tackers are trying to punch it in there. Dangerous.
Actually, you know what? I think there is enough room. I can't quite up. That is our Finnish friends just punching in there and really said the racing is tight. The racing is tight coming from this one part. Tyler Sinks, I know he's out for blood as well. He's trying to, it's a show of redemption for him. But yeah, all of these teams are now rounding, making really great sets. And I think it's going to be an awesome downwind leg. The breeze is up. It was down a bit, but now we are seeing some cloud coverage coming in, and this downwind beat is going to be a good one.
Well, thanks, Katie. And we can see the fleet now heading downwind, and we're leading San Diego Yacht Club, followed by American Yacht Club. Then it is Eastern, Royal Thames, Southern, and Royal Cork, 4 out of the 5 top leaders. And Royal Thames did a great job of getting back into that race. They managed to nip themselves ahead of Southern Yacht Club. Where is the New York Yacht Club? They are just rounding now in 12th place.
Andy, tell us about the yellow Spinnaker.
That is the gold Spinnaker, and it is current overall leader on board with Southern Yacht Club because they are overnight overall leaders with 21 points. Royal Thames had it yesterday, and they did not keep it. The Southern Yacht Club overhauled them with some great racing. Royal Thames had 8.
You know, sailors are a very superstitious lot, Andy. I know after Royal Thames had such a great first day, very rough second day, maybe you don't want the yellow Spinnaker until the end of the regatta. Peak at the right time.
Stand by. Seems to be some frantic action there on board Southern Yacht Club. What's going on? Bowman goes forwards. Are they prepping for a jibe?
Handles in.
Serious housekeeping going on there.
Everybody's running around.
Yeah, looks pretty busy.
Frantic fire drill here. Oh,
there we go.
Back of the bus.
Who's that? Oh, don't trip over. They end up just getting over the stern. But I think they need as much weight back as they can.
Great shot there. Look at the fleet. Beautiful. Who's that jibing? Royal Canadian?
Royal Vancouver.
One of the Royals?
05. 05, Royal Canadian Yacht Club from Toronto.
Not to be confused with Royal Vancouver.
Yeah. Lovely shot. There we go. I'm sure. Let's see if we got Kenny in here, and I'll just give him a buzz, see if he can give us some insight. He probably won't be able to see these pictures, but lovely shots from above.
Don't tell him how good these sails look, because it'll go to his head. Beautiful.
All right, Kenny, can you hear us? Give us your summary of the action so far.
That's a very short summary.
Right?
Thanks, Ken.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it, Kenny. Give us a summary.
You know, photography from Southern is fascinating. There's so much to be learned. First of all, their jib lead position, it's actually pretty far out towards the rail. I'm a little surprised at that. How they lived there. Tucker, I think you guys called it, how they lived there, and that got them actually around that mark in, what, 5th place or something? They lived off the hip of the Thames group. That was super impressive. And the tiller movement, like, I think, again, Tuck, you called it. Johnny Lovell, it's such a great lesson for people watching this. You can't steer big boats around short chop like this. You have to kind of let the boat do its thing. And by holding that tiller dead center the way he was, I really think it helped them track to weather and actually work themselves into a position that none of us thought they could do. They got tacked on and actually made it live. So that was very cool. That was a really good first beat.
And the feeling that you have as a helmsman when you're trying to keep a tight lane in a fleet race there, when you have no option to tack. Talk us through the heart rate and the anxiety.
Well, it's all about your mainsail trimmer, right? And Ricky Merriman was trimming mainsail for them. He trimmed. He was with Phil Watts and myself in the very first one of these invitational cups. He's as good as it gets. He sailed on the national champion boat here in the IC-37 class. He's as good an amateur mainsail trimmer as there is, and you just have to rely on that person. They're loading up the back end of the boat enough to not let you drop into leeward, to not let you slide down to leeward. And Ricky Merriman is really, from an amateur sailing standpoint, maybe even a professional sailing standpoint, he's as good a main trimmer as it is. And all of us know the people who drive the boat think they're in charge. It's the mainsail trimmer. Let's be very clear.
Very good. Okay, and as far as wind shifts and weather on the race course, what do you see?
Yeah, northerlies are pretty shifty, but they're a little more subdued shifts out there. They're going to be big shifts over time. Not as many of those quick little shifts that we saw yesterday, because they're well offshore. They're several miles offshore, but they're going to have big shifts. They're going to come through, probably every 15, 20, 25 minutes, one good big one. Look out for Billy Lynn. He's been doing this for a while too. Billy and I go back to college sailing days. He's always a sleeper. He's just kind of sitting there waiting for you to make a mistake, and then pounces on you. So look out for the guys from Marblehead, the guys and girls from Marblehead, and of course the people from San Diego. Vince Brune is their coach. Not too much of a slouch in his own right. I think they got a little talking to last night to get their act together, and sure enough, it may have worked.
Kenny, hey, it's Tucker here. Question for you. You mentioned Billy Lynn and the Eastern Yacht Club from Marblehead. On tracking, it's tough to gauge the distance on there, but it looks like he's set up to leeward of a whole bunch of boats that could potentially give him wind shadows. Has he left his jibe a little bit late?
Well, you hope that he learned from yesterday, right? He kind of put himself in not too great a spot on that last run yesterday when he was winning a race where a mistake could actually make a big, actually do him in. So I think that Billy needs to. The apparent wind, first of all, is much further forward on these boats than what a lot of people are used to. So what may look like a tough spot sometimes, the apparent wind's probably at 75 or 80 degrees off the beam, rather than back at 110, 120 with a conventional Spinnaker pole. So it may not be sometimes as bad as it appears.
Okay, and a final question. We were just talking about the Golden Spinnaker going in as the leader overall into a new day. Some sailors are superstitious, some not. What's your feeling about all of that?
The mark. It's the mark. Like, hey, let's all go after that yellow Spinnaker, right? It's kind of what it's made for. First of all, it's made to say, congratulations, you're obviously doing well. I would love to have the Golden Spinnaker, because that means you're probably in pretty good shape in the Regatta. but at the same time, it does put a mark on you. You always know who's winning. And actually, I was kind of surprised that more people didn't tack on top of Southern
yeah.
on that first beat. You know, Billy, the Eastern Yacht Club group had a real shot to do some serious damage to Southern. We're getting to that point in the regatta where one really well-timed, nasty tack or jibe on top of another boat can really add some big numbers. And you gotta, I mean, that, what is it, 10 points or so right now? That's starting to get to be a reasonable lead.
Okay, excellent. Good. All right. Well, thank you very much, Kenny, for checking in and keeping us all honest here in the booth, giving us an insight from on the water and real technical perspective from Super Sailor of quite some note. Thanks, Kenny. We'll talk to you later.
You got it, fellas.
That's great. Certainly Ken, someone who needs no introduction to the sport of sailing, certainly not here in Newport. You know, while they were talking, we're looking at live pictures of San Diego Yacht Club, and you could see the main trimmer pumping that main on these waves.
Yep, there'll be
Big effort.
plenty of kinetics on board. And now the fleet is spreading out a little on the downwind, quite a long on port here as we go down towards the bottom mark.
And look at that yellow Spinnaker just sneaking their way through this fleet, Andy. You can never write out Southern Yacht Club, even if they're having a rough race. They just start ticking off boats. Another team that did that really well early in the regatta was New York Yacht Club. Right now they're in about mid-fleet. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Commodore Chris Culver and crew, Pete Levesque calling tactics, work their way through the fleet to chalk up a single-digit finish as we go down on the water here with your leader.
Yeah, San Diego Yacht Club looking very good, and just behind them, that's Southern Yacht Club rolling over one of the boats, or at least trying to like get boat by boat once you get into the top 5 or 6.
Just behind them, Andy, is the rest of the fleet.
Yeah, right. Great pictures, lovely drone shots. Right now, we're holding on the river as we come down towards the bottom mark. We're just rebooting the track, and
While you do that, let me check back in with Katie. Katie, it looks like it's getting softer out there. Is that true?
But that sea state still is choppy and just lumpy as all heck. I feel like I've had bowls of oatmeal that were smoother. It's pretty wild out here. But yeah, you know, I feel like this next upwind, people are going to be heading towards that rightmost gate when you're looking upwind and just kind of playing the shifts as the breeze goes right. It does appear to be up, but you know, we do anticipate a trend of getting a little softer, but again, once we were out here, it's been up and down.
Yeah, puts a big premium on the trimmers, doesn't it? Upwind and downwind to keep these boats powered up and in the groove. And you're right about the right-hand side upwind. That's where the leaders are headed.
Yeah, I would not want to be a main trimmer or a jib trimmer or a Spinnaker trimmer in any of these conditions. So let's just say that.
Well, in all honesty, watching how great this Invitational Cup racing is, I'll take any of those jobs. But here we go with second place. A little bit of a slow drop there, but no big deal. Beautiful job in the steering. That's number 8 around. Who is that? American Yacht Club with Peter Duncan at the helm and current Commodore Thomas Blackwell calling tactics. In third around the mark, Eastern Yacht Club, Billy Lynn. You heard Ken Reed mention he's a little bit of a sleeper. He's the type of, you know, he's always in that second, third, or fourth place position, but you never know when they're just going to jump back up into the front of the pack. They were leading wire to wire in yesterday's final breezy race until the last jibe. And in that jibe was just a little bit of an issue, perhaps with the leeward runner. I'm not sure what held the main up, but it was enough to wind check them for just a half a second. That gave the door, opened the door rather, for San Diego Yacht Club. Here's Royal Cork. They had a fantastic race yesterday. Won the first one. Fleet seems to be split in their opinion between left and right as we go back upwind the second time in this race number 7 of the Invitational Cup. 12 races on schedule. As you know, we were postponed this morning. But with 3 days left of racing, we will easily get 6 of them in after this 7th race here. Probably one more this afternoon. Forecast has enough breeze for sailing the rest of the week. And of course, it's not just the sailing here at the Invitational Cup. Who better than the New York Yacht Club to throw a party, and the Corinthian aspect, the social aspect of this regatta is just as spectacular as the racing is on the water. Looking at American Yacht Club. Heading to the left, upwind, on starboard, and as Katie mentioned, it is lumpy out there. Between the drivers and the sail trimmers, Andy, you've really got to be on your toes and shift gears to keep the power up and the speed on.
I quite like this left-hand mark that Royal Cork, Yacht Club Italiano, and New York Yacht Club have gone around. New York Yacht Club in 11th, so they've got a little work to do. But if they can make this stick, there are at least 4 boats that they can get back into if they make a decent port tack across the rest of the fleet there. So New York Yacht Club just holding their lane.
And out in front, San Diego Yacht Club went around the right mark if you look upwind on the beat, but they've elected to tack and sail up the middle and stay in check with those to their left.
Royal Thames putting the bow down hard. Those 2 boats that you can see top of screen, that's the Southern Yacht Club and the Royal Thames Yacht Club. There is a battle going on there, and the Southern Yacht Club have snuck ahead of Royal Thames. I wonder if Royal Thames didn't have the greatest of leeward mark roundings there. So,
am I seeing something, Andy, or is there a big angle difference between these 2 starboard tackers? Is that it? Boat on the top of screen wound up quite a lot?
no, that's east. I think that's
San Diego. And there's American Yacht Club tacking. That's San Diego, far left, leading the regatta. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think that might be a big right-hand shift there.
American wants a piece of it.
Yeah, they're going back for it.
And look how spread out this fleet is getting after the halfway mark of this race.
A slightly longer upwind leg today. And as a result, a slightly longer downwind leg.
It's amazing how you put that together.
Genius.
I wasn't going to go that far.
Let's see if we got a few questions here. We're following on YouTube. Give us any of your questions if you've got any, and I'll open the Facebook feed, see what everyone's got to say about price of milk today. There, American Yacht Club, number 8. Lovely shots up and down. We heard Kenny talking about the Southern Yacht Club. When we next go on board with them, we're going to have a little closer look-see.
Look-see.
But lovely pictures there of the American Yacht Club. Mark Mills designed IC-37s.
Look how lumpy it is. Yacht Club Italiano. Katie was on board with them earlier, I believe, earlier in the week.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you their crew list at the Yacht Club Italiano. Just
While you look that up, let me just ask Katie about what she knows of this team. Yacht Club Italiano, Katie, you were on board with them earlier this week, right?
I did. I was with my fellow countrymen on Yacht Club Italiano. Actually, I should say countrywomen, because this is Yacht Club Italiano is the only boat in the fleet that has a female driver and a female bowman. And actually, a funny story about that female bowman, Chiara, has just graduated university this morning at 6 a.m. She was on a Zoom call getting her university degree. So, we are within a fleet of amateurs. Doesn't mean it's amateur sailing, but these people have lives outside of this Invitational Cup, but yet they're making it work. They're getting their degrees and sailing in this epic event, too.
Well, at least she's got her priorities right, that's for sure.
Yes, that is for sure. No, super smart cookie.
So
but
cool.
Just a young team that is kind of chipping away and just learning from their mistakes each race. I caught up with their trimmer, Matteo, and he, a young guy as well, 28 years old, has more of a dinghy background, as well as Ilaria, the skipper. And yeah, the crew is just happy to be here and happy to take, one day at a time, one race at a time.
Yep. That is so cool. Katie's got she's like Eastern Yacht Club. She's a sleeper as well. Just when you think she's finished with info, boom, she pulls a zinger like that one out. And
Don't sleep on me, Tucker. Come on now.
You know what I like about the girl in the bow there? It reminds me of me, because I missed my college graduation to do a match race regatta in Russia with a crazy British guy, the British Racing Green Team. Andy, you might recall who that was. Made me miss my college graduation.
Yeah, great fun. Okay, San Diego Yacht Club leading, doing a very nice job. American Yacht Club, Eastern.
Look, staying classy, San Diego.
Yeah, very good. I've just got a message from Johnny Greenland's wife in London watching live with their 2 kids now, and the last time she was racing in this regatta, she was pregnant with the oldest one of those children, and they won. And I remember announcing it on live TV when she hadn't told her mum, so it was a little embarrassing moment, but hey ho. Shout out to all the yacht clubs around the world who are sharing our feed. Thanks very much. We know that there are some watch parties going on all around, and I think particularly Saturday,
got some on
plenty
Facebook.
much. And Katie Greenland saying she's missing being out here very much. I can wholeheartedly imagine. Great racing. Your husband's doing great work. Reassured.
We've got some fans, Andy, from Yacht Club Argentina as well. Shout out to the Silva sisters. It's great to have fans from all over the world. That's another great thing about this regatta, Andy. 9 countries, 19 yacht club teams. In fact, 48 different yacht clubs on 6 populated continents on Earth have all competed in this regatta. And it's not just the 8 or 9 sailors on board, it's the entire membership of every club represented that gets behind their team, including Yacht Club Argentina, as we just mentioned. Thanks for watching. Let's look at some more of these comments. Bernice Moran de Neve, come on, Hoth Yacht Club. Little Irish flag there. Very cool, the international flavor of this regatta, Andy.
Here we are on board with Southern. We can just have a look at that jib sheet. Here they go for attack. Look at the jib sheet lead, and we'll try and compare that. If I had my little telestrator, I'd draw a red mark on this screen, but I don't think the TV would translate it very well to you guys. Anyway, here we are, Southern Yacht Club. Attacking now. And where are they? On the track. Looks like they are a couple of boats ahead of them.
You know what I like about Johnny driving through that tack is he nailed the heel angle. The boat came out of the tack, powered up, and you didn't see any sort of settling in. It was just bang, right? That heel angle hasn't changed an inch.
That's a great point, Tucker. Heel angle, so important.
18 to 22 degrees.
Yeah, when you're sailing keel boats, keep the heel angle as consistent as possible. On the left, San Diego Yacht Club, American Yacht Club.
Drives like a robot.
Southern, Eastern, and the Royal Thames and the Royal Cork, 3rd through 6th. New York Yacht Club in 12th, digging out, trying to do their very best to get back into this.
Come on, Commodore Culver, the first ever sitting Commodore to also compete in this regatta as a helmsman. 4 Commodores, current Commodores at different clubs are competing this week, Andy, but only one driving. Peter Levesque sharing some of the driving duties and calling tactics for the New York Yacht Club team. Good luck.
There we go.
140 plus meters between San Diego Yacht Club and second place American Yacht Club. American having a great race.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, good work from Rye, New York. They do a great spring and fall series out of the American Yacht Club on Long Island Sound.
Been there many times. In fact,
highly recommend it.
this will definitely be their best finish of the series so far. Great to have them in the regatta.
They got their act together. This is good. Well done, American Yacht Club.
This is their first time in the Invitational Cup. That's surprising. Such a talented club.
And they
Depth
got,
of sailors.
I mean, they got a 70-80 meter lead over Southern Yacht Club, and they're keeping a very close eye on them. You can see there on the track, the 2 American flags on the right-hand side. That's American Yacht Club and Southern Yacht Club.
Southern Yacht Club survived the recent hurricane very well. I saw pictures. Very minimal damage. They're right back in business. I'm headed there next month to visit them. Great club.
Currently following the leaders right now, and we're looking out on the view over the race course. little further in the background, that's Bermuda.
This is one of those, you heard Katie mention earlier in the broadcast, Andy, that we're not going to see a lot of shifts. It's all boat speed in a day like today. And this is where, as they say sometimes in sailing, the analogy, the rich get richer, meaning if you're one of the top boats, you get the clear air first, you get the new breeze, you get the shifts first, you don't have to sail through the dirty air and the chop and slop of the other boats. So that's why we see San Diego and American and a couple others just continuing to increase their lead.
Yeah, definitely number one on my least favorite comments about sailing racing, the rich get richer, yucky. Anyway, here we are, San Diego Yacht Club, American Yacht Club, Eastern Yacht Club, but the leaders do gain, and you can see it often in other sorts of car racing, particularly when you're ahead, you don't get that dirty air. You get to choose your line, you get to decide exactly where you want to go around the corners and which in sailing shifts you would like to take, unencumbered by any boats ahead of you, giving you that bad air which affects your speed.
Katie, if you can hear us once again, you're probably halfway up this final beat. We're looking at San Diego Yacht Club, Tyler Sinks and crew. They almost won this regatta last time. I know you know all those guys really well. When they hook into a groove and get out in front, they're almost unstoppable.
Yes, Tucker, that's right. I know all of those former college sailors pretty well, and that's one thing that I have to say college sailing really prepares you for is just put the bow down and go. And a lot of these sailors grew up at San Diego Yacht Club, are super close. The communication between them is really non-existent because they really can't anticipate each other's thoughts, each other's next move, and just having had that time together, I think and I believe it is a true advantage.
Certainly is an advantage in this race. They've just tacked on what looks like ley line for the top mark for the last time. That's Itchner Sailing Club behind them, and here we are on board again, Andy, with. Is it Southern?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yep.
Oh, Johnny didn't get that one quite right. He's trying to. You see his footwork just got a little off kilter as he went through the tack.
He might have tripped on that backstay line there.
Yeah, but the most important thing was, despite him having a little unbalance, he kept the tiller extension and the tiller as smooth as possible. And the extension there, silver, the tiller, the black, and the rudder goes down into the water.
I actually have never sailed an IC-37, Andy, but I watched the way they turn through the tacks and the jibes. They really turn slowly through the tacks and even slower through the jibes. This is not a boat that you just whip around the race course. It's really smooth. You've got to be really smooth with it.
Yeah, and as we talked earlier, it really difficult sailing conditions, bumpy, 12 to 14, probably not really 14. Yeah, 12 to 14 out there. And, sorry.
Yes, no.
Yes, no, maybe so. Here they go. That bow girl on the Southern Yacht Club just clearing the halyard line.
Setting up for the hoist. This will be the final port tack for Southern Yacht Club. Way in the distance there, you can see San Diego Yacht Club on starboard, ley line for the top mark.
Mila Newman, that is, I think, on the bow there for the Southern Yacht Club.
There's Southern, just in the middle between Eastern to leeward and American Yacht Club to windward. That's second, third, and fourth.
Interestingly, Johnny Lovell, as you said earlier, was the tactician when they won. Can he complete a win as the helmsman? And he switched over with his mate, Marcus Egan. I'm presuming they're mates.
Well, if he can, it'll be only the second yacht club in history to rack up 2 wins in the Invitational Cup. That honor currently is held by Royal Canadian Yacht Club and Terry McLaughlin.
Yeah, Terry not having such a good day, had to peel out of the pin end at the start.
Almost always starts at the pin from what we've seen in these races.
Yeah, and sometimes that can really bite you, because if the breeze shifts a little to the left and is a little bumpy, a lot of the boats just misjudged their speed and acceleration to the line.
I think the breeze dropped through the sequence too.
There's a small bit of tide, the breeze dropped, it was bumpy, and a slight left-hand shift meant that a lot of the boats were late for accelerating into the start line. Hence, we had quite a disparity between those boats that got good starts and those that did not. Second, and today there was even a third row off the starting line. Royal Thames have just lost a little bit out there. Itchner Sailing Club, bang the corner away on the right-hand side,
Itchner.
ring the bell.
Top of screen, it could either be looking really good or really bad, depending on this big group of port tackers about to approach them. Tough perspective that we've got here. But no question who's going to round out in front. San Diego Yacht Club.
Billy Lynn had a tough couple of tacks coming into the top there. Eastern Yacht Club just lost a little bit of distance to Royal Cork, who have just nudged it up a little bit.
They've called that ley line from so far out, Andy. It was perfect. Tyler Sinks puts the bow down, heads for the offset mark. Officially a leg on the course. That's why on track sometimes you'll see that these 4-leg courses actually have 6 legs. They count this little reach as the foredeck team prepares the Spinnaker for the hoist. No other boat in sight.
Nice, look at that. That is a great lead. That's what you want.
Ring the bell.
Stretch your legs, shoot up, no pressure, keep it clean
I don't think they'll let off the gas pedal.
for the final downwind. You just
Where is the rest of the fleet? Look at that.
right? I think that's very.
Amazing.
It's a great shot just to hold it on there for a minute. Love that.
Let's go back to that shot. Let's see a whole lot of nothing just to
look
get
at
a
that.
sense of
Look
how
at that.
big that
Yeah,
lead is.
amazing.
Big lead, Tyler. Big lead. I bet Tyler Stack, Chuck Sinks, a former Commodore of San Diego Yacht Club, is like, come on, Tyler, finally.
Look, I think there's a bit of favoritism on Katie's part. What do you think, Andy?
You think so?
Go San
No,
Diego.
there is none. I've made so many awesome and amazing friends, and that, again, what you two have been chirping about all day. This Invitational Cup is about people from other yacht clubs around the world. It's just amateur competition, but doesn't mean amateur people and or
Attitudes,
sailing. So I don't have favorites, making a whole slew of new friends.
Well, if your money's on this boat and this team, you'd be a winner right now. They're looking great downwind. Look, the second place boat, Andy, still hasn't gotten to the top mark. It's been, what, a minute and a half, maybe 2?
Yeah, but American Yacht Club doing a lovely job here. They are 300 meters behind San Diego, but they are also 150 meters ahead of the next pack. Then after that, it is going to be very interesting on this downwind because it's Southern, Royal Cork, Royal Thames, Eastern, in that gaggle of boats right there.
Gaggle.
Chirping. That's what we do, Tucker. You're exactly a great word.
You know, you and I have been accused of a lot in different broadcasts, blathering and this, that, and the other, but never chirping. Chirping's a new one.
I like it.
Southern Yacht Club. Well, they've done a good job just ticking boats off, now rounding in 3rd.
Yeah.
Royal Cork is in 4th. That's the only other yacht club other than New York to have competed in every single Invitational Cup event, also the oldest yacht club in the world. 17 something or other. On board with Southern.
1720.
Golden Spinnaker. Great to be on board with these teams. You almost feel like you're out there with them.
San Diego Yacht Club, Tyler Sinks, the tactician Jack Ladow, Carissa Crawford, Drew Frides on the San Diego Yacht Club boat, those current leaders right now. He is a very, very accomplished sailor, Drew, one of the best amateur helmsmen that there is around the racecourse. Jake Ladow, the tactician, Max Hutchison, Nicholas Kaschak, Nicholas Martin, Tori Martin, and Duncan Swain. I'd guess that's a family boat too. They're on San Diego Yacht Club. Laura's nodding to me there.
So great to have all these family teams represented in this. That's what it's all about. Lots of families, friends, people that enjoy sailing together. And I like Katie's comment. These might be amateur sailors, but that doesn't mean that they're any less talented. These are some of the best sailors in the world. Yeah. Olympic medalists represented, 2 silvers and a bronze in this fleet, including the yellow Spinnaker, Johnny Lovell, right there, Southern Yacht Club. He is a silver medalist, 4-time Olympian. Look how the fleet has spread out throughout this race. I think it's a 30-minute time limit between first and the last place boat. We'll definitely get to that, but this is possibly the largest spread in the fleet we've seen in these races so far.
And we saw the Royal Canadian Yacht Club after not such a great start come right back into it. We can see the maple leaf flag just top of screen there. They got a real shot of getting back into the top 5 here. Terry McLaughlin, the helmsman, the tactician Lance Fraser, Sandy Andrews, David Jarvis, Andrew McTavish, quite a character of the crew from the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. I've seen him dressed up in a kilt and bagpipes before. That's a story for another day. Ingrid Merry, John Millen, and Mariah Millen, also another family boat. One of the wonderful things about this Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational, the amateur Corinthian spirit and the family nature, and you can really feel it when everyone gets together for the daily awards ceremony on the lawn at Harbour Court here at the New York Yacht Club, the Newport station of the New York Yacht Club. They've come second, first, 10th and 4th. The Royal Canadian Yacht Club, as Tucker mentioned earlier, the only team to have won twice. Johnny and Mariah, both Olympians, a real quality crew amongst the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. Course, obviously, Terry McLaughlin, a silver medalist in 1984 Flying Dutchman. And then 31 years later, a silver medalist at the Pan Am Games. Those two were 16th in the FX at the Tokyo Games in the 49. Mariah was 16th. Mariah Millen at the FX Women's Olympic event in Tokyo.
You know, I talked a lot about Southern Yacht Club speed upwind, but they have just been gaining almost with every wave on the boats behind them, the Irish and the Italian and the British crews. As I say that, there's a really nice bite on the boat behind them. See that surf? That's a half a boat length gain just on one wave.
Yeah, Royal Cork Yacht Club, Anthony O'Leary and his family team. Ben Field, the tactician, an old team racing mate of mine from Southampton University, doing a good job. Sophie Brown, Rebecca Coles, Clodagh Colony, Tom Murphy, Peter O'Leary, Robert O'Leary, and Clive O'Shea. Those guys from the Royal Cork, 1720. They sailed down in Crosshaven, and that is quite a place. The Cork Week, every 2 years held at the Royal Cork Yacht Club in Crosshaven. Plenty of stories to come out of that as well, but those also for another day.
Royal Cork was affecting the breeze of Southern Yacht Club in front of them, so Lovell and crew jibed the gold Spinnaker onto port. Good call. Royal Cork followed suit with it. Meanwhile, the front runners, unstoppable. San Diego leading American downwind. The rest of the fleet fights it out for the rest of the spots. This is the final run of race number 7, day number 3 of the 7th biennial Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup, purpose-built boat, the IC-37, a 20-boat fleet that the New York Yacht Club invested in. Thank God they did, because this has changed amateur keelboat sailing forever. This is one of the, if not the best amateur keelboat regatta you could. I couldn't think of a better one to travel to if you were a team, yacht club team.
Well, good luck suggesting one, seeing as we're right here.
But seriously, 48 different yacht clubs from 6 continents have competed in this regatta. And Rolex has been there from the very beginning. Thank you to Rolex for your support of this event and the sport of sailing worldwide. I still don't have my watch, Andy. Saying that for years. Just kidding, just kidding.
Ben Field, the tactician on the Royal Bermuda. Here we go. Very good. Let's just do a little on Royal Bermuda. Love that place.
Yeah, it is a spectacular spot. Royal Bermuda, established in 1844, the same year as what yacht club, Andy?
I give up.
One that you're a member of. One that's
New
hosting
York.
this regatta. There you go.
All right. Well, we're with Royal Bermuda, bow 20. James McDonald, the helmsman, Jonathan Corliss, the tactician, Alison Hill, Alexandra McDonald, another family boat, Thomas Miller, Jeff Roach, Walter Smith, and Paul Watson, members of the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club.
Corliss, a former Commodore. We just heard a noise from Katie. Does that mean you've got something, Katie?
Oh, no, I was just going to chirp in myself. I'm glad you two liked my new nomenclature that I'm providing for you both. I had the pleasure again, as just a reminder that I was on board with Royal Bermuda earlier in the week, and just all super sailors. They usually do Wednesday night racing together on J105s, but due to COVID restrictions in Bermuda, they haven't been racing as much as they would like to have been. But they got here early. They came with their families, their support system. As we were making our way out to the bay 2 days ago, some of their family members were out on their lawn jumping and screaming. And, this event is really just a place for everyone. People come with their families. They enjoy Newport. They get out on the water to be able to watch some of the racing. They get to tune into the live broadcast and just have a really awesome time with it. And, Royal Bermuda is making headway, making progress, and just working on bits as they go. And just keep reiterating to me that they're having a great time.
I think Katie's having a great time. I think she's got the best, not only the best seat in the house out on the water, but then she gets to sail and meet all these teams, Andy.
Well, she's got the skills. She's just like me, laughing at her own jokes. Brilliant. San Diego Yacht Club, ahead of American Yacht Club. Look at the picture right there. That is 470-meter lead, half a kilometer in this race. Very, very impressive.
And all these boats go the same speed.
Yeah, yep, totally one-design boats.
That's amazing.
And Tyler Sinks, the helmsman, this is their second attempt. They were second in 2019, and they won the Resolute Cup in 2018 to qualify for the 2019.
Yes, tell us more about how future yacht clubs can get involved in the Invitational Cup. How can they qualify, Andy?
So applications open shortly through the New York Yacht Club website. You can apply for to enter the Resolute Cup Regatta, and if you win or place well enough in that regatta, you are invited then to join the Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational. It's an extremely good event. We had it. 2018 was in Sonars and in Melges 18s. They had the new Melges. The Melges.
I can't remember. I know it was in two boats, and now you got me there.
We'll have to get our stato on it. I'm sure my phone will blow up just in about 1 second from.
Stu would be in here in a second. He'd know exactly what it was.
Right, slapping me around.
How many boats, where they came from, who owned them, how much they cost.
On board Southern, as they head down towards the finishing line. And this win will really give San Diego Yacht Club, who are currently in 6th on 44 points, well, that'll put them to 45 points, and they'll do very nicely. A bit of a turnaround here for San Diego Yacht Club. They've still got a little sniff at this.
Well, that's where you can never get down about a bad race or a higher point race in this regatta, because even the best teams here are getting double-digit finishes a couple times. Consistency is key. Katie mentioned college sailing. It's the same type of short course, one design racing where you count every single race, and the goal is not necessarily to win every race, but it's to have your average in roughly 6th or 7th place will do it for this regatta if you average that up throughout the week. Mm-hmm. That's pretty big. Yeah,
absolutely. And Jake Ladow, the tactician on board San Diego Yacht Club, he was involved in the 2013 Red Bull Youth America's Cup, wing trimmer at only 19 years old. He's won the Governor's Cup, that famous match racing regatta in California. He's won the Sabot Nationals and Sabot Nationals and the Lipton Cup, all very prestigious trophies on the west side.
And they have their eyes, Andy, on one more trophy, particularly if they keep this performance up. Race number 7's win goes to San Diego Yacht Club. Impressively sailed. Andy, it's too bad that you don't get more than a first place point, because if this was done on time,
yeah, right.
I mean, they'd get an incredible score for having outsailed this fleet by hundreds, literally hundreds, 400 yards and counting, to be quite honest. Back on board with the current regatta leader, who's going to rack up a very safe and respectable finish to maintain their lead, Andy. Points-wise, they went into today 9 points over Royal Thames. Where is Royal Thames?
Royal Thames look like they're in 7th. They're just holding on okay. Southern Yacht Club in 3rd. Royal Cork 4th at the moment. We're going to get this to you as... great picture there of the American Yacht Club finishing, and then Southern Yacht Club now defending their position against Royal Canadian, Royal Cork, Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, excellent result from them, and then just behind is Royal, I can't see where Royal Thames are actually, but that was a good position there that Southern Yacht Club had to jibe in that spot to defend their third position as the Royal Cork tried to soak down on top of them, doesn't manage it because
Johnny Lovell just put the bow up a little bit. To answer your question, upper left of screen, Andy, still on port is Royal Thames with that group of port tackers just in the background there. Here's second. This, you know, we've talked for easily 3 minutes and second place hasn't yet crossed the finish line. Impressive.
Well, New York Yacht Club are showing back to ninth, just one behind the Royal Thames, two behind the Royal Thames, and Eastern slipped back a little bit.
Yeah, what happened to Eastern?
As they come in towards the finish, we've got
American
Yacht Club from Rye, New York. Well done to American Yacht Club.
This is their best finish in the regatta so far, and this is their first Invitational Cup. Good job, American. Yep. And Johnny Lovell's fended off the charge from behind to take third and maintain Southern Yacht Club's lead in the regatta over Royal Cork. Royal Cork has racked up a few good races in this regatta. This might be their best performance in the regatta so far. I think Royal Cork has had a third. I'll double check that.
Best result, a third, 2019, 2 years ago.
Thank you.
Great job.
Competed in every single regatta. So that's your top four. Look at the Canadian boat coming flying in. Royal Canadian has made up a lot of points. They'll take a fifth place in this race, just over the top of Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, the Italian team. Behind them and jibing for the finish next is Royal Thames in New York.
Yeah, look at this, right behind Royal Thames in New York. This is a great little nudge in towards the finish. We've got New York Yacht Club, Eastern, and Royal Thames. Who's going to squeeze this out here? Look at how New York Yacht Club right in the middle, I think that is, coming down towards the finish. It looks like way on the right-hand side. Who is that?
That's New York.
That's New York. Oh, squeezing it because the favoured end of the line. And Eastern squeeze it out from Royal Thames.
Oh, my goodness. So New York, then Eastern, then Royal Thames. That was a photo finish, if ever there was one. Argentina, Yacht Club Argentina, slips in just behind and in front of Yacht Club Italiano. What? Behind them, Andy, is the Finnish team. I'm going to let you pronounce that.
The Finnish team is Nylandska Yacht Klubben, and I've got to say, very impressed with New York Yacht Club. Managed to dig it out. They were in big trouble, 12th, 13th, 14th, only a leg and a half ago, and they racked up boats, and they took two right at the finish to snudge ahead of Eastern Royal Thames.
Okay, let's just take this last group across the line, Andy. Nylandska Yacht Klubben is just barely holding off
Itchner
Sailing Club.
And then San Francisco Yacht Club behind them, and the Irish flag of Hoth, and then Royal Swedish Yacht Club behind them is, you can see, Royal Bermuda Yacht Club, Royal Vancouver, and just ahead of those two coming into shot, Norotan Yacht Club coming in on port. They're going to have to give way to get into that pin, but amazingly, windward end favoured, but everyone finishing at the pin. Let's just keep with this and see if Norotan can cross
right to the end.
Yeah, can cross behind the. No, don't think so. They're not quite enough there, but everyone pushing their bows down, taking
Royal
it
Swedish, Norotan, and finally Royal Bermuda Yacht Club.
And Royal Vancouver Yacht Club just in the distance.
Well, that was an incredibly exciting race from the beginning right to the end, and there's a lot more action to come, not only today, but for the rest of the week here in Newport, Rhode Island. We're going to join the action in race number 8 of the Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup in just a few minutes. Right now, I'm Tucker Thompson with Andy Green, Katie Nastro's out on the water. We've been joined by special guests like Henry, and there's a lot more to come. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. The 2021 Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup is brought to you by title sponsor, Rolex. Regatta sponsors, Hammett's Hotel and Helly Hansen. Supplier, Team One Newport. And hosted by the New York Yacht Club. Hello and welcome back once again to our live coverage of the 2021 Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup. I'm Tucker Thompson along with Andy Green. Andy, we have now completed 7 races in this regatta. The fleet is offshore, and that was one of the best races we've seen. Certainly a hard one to win and an impressive win for San Diego.
Yeah, great job from San Diego. They did super work, and Southern Yacht Club also have slightly extended their lead. They're now on 24 points. Royal Cork in second on 34. Royal Thames on 39. New York Yacht Club on 39. Eastern on 40. And San Diego Yacht Club just nudging it up with 45 points. Tricky conditions. One standout there in that race, Royal Canadian Yacht Club, Terry McLaughlin, they had to do 2 circles at the start, and then they came back to 5th place, I think it was, in that race. So excellent sailing from them, but certainly challenging conditions. Look like we're going to have one more, and we are going to go out to the race course just in a moment. Southern Yacht Club doing a great job.
Right,
here we go. Look, let's go on board now. We're in sequence. Hoth Yacht Club
from Ireland.
Irish from Dublin.
New team in this regatta. Great crew. Family crew. We're on port approach.
I don't think they're quite on their final approach yet, but really very important to stay on starboard. They've got the top batten is just turned around at the top. That's called a Bonner, named after the famous sailor Nick Bonner from England.
Not to interrupt your history lesson, Andy, but let's ask Katie Nastro. Katie, you have a view of the conditions for this race and also potentially the time. How much time have we got?
Hi, Tucker. Yes, we're coming up to 2 minutes. Actually, under 2 minutes. We're closer to 1:20. Boats are on the line. Breeze is a bit down. I'm seeing about 10 to 12. A little bit, of course. Looking as bumpy. So, that's everybody's probably saying to themselves, thank goodness. Because that sea state before was a little rough. And for the teams that aren't used to these IT-37s, I think it especially at the start, we're having trouble kind of getting off the line and getting going.
Yep, and we saw a big midline sag, Katie, in that first race because of the tide and the breeze softening and the swell still behind to get the boats powered up onto the line. Now, at this point, we may see some of the same because at 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, the fleet, to my eye, looks to be back a little bit. Now, earlier in the week, Andy, we did see some over early, so perhaps the fleet doesn't want to get bitten by that. We're on board with regatta leader Southern Yacht Club.
Yeah, what a treat that we managed to get them as the onboard camera for the day. Katie Lovell there doing the runners, port and starboard side, and we'll flip over to Royal Cork Yacht Club.
Port starboard.
Hey.
Oh, that could be a flag.
Yeah, flag on the play right there.
We saw this hand go up, signaling protest. That's a good time to mention the underwater umpires, Andy.
Yep, the underwater umpires are dishing out penalties. It's a 2-penalty turn.
He's reaching for the flag, so we just saw that was definitely a red flag protest, and the boats allured may likely do a spin after the start. There are 5 umpire boats. You can see 3 of them right there in that shot, trailing the fleet. 40 seconds coming up, Andy. All bows pushing towards the line. I don't think we'll see the fleet as late as we saw in the first race today. Oh, there's the circle right there. So you can spin the circle before the start.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You can do the circles before the start. So we are now within 25 seconds to the start. Boats just readying themselves. A little bit light on the line, I think, as well, but we got one boat there just going all the way down towards the pin.
Where is the pin? Maybe the drone can pan out so we can see the pin as well. Get a gauge for how far back the fleet is. Look at them all stopped, Andy, like a dinghy racing start. Now putting the bows down, turning left, sheeting in. Here we go. 5 seconds to the start. This race number 8. 3 boats are a little bit behind. Everybody else on the line. There's the pin and there's the gun. We're off.
Yep, here they go, just winding it up right there. And I think just a little late. We're just all clear for that start. Lovely start in the end there. All boats pretty much bang on the line. And I like how in the middle of the line, 0 sag today in this race. That shows these crews getting the bit between their teeth, really taking it hard on board Hoth Yacht Club. Trimmer there to leeward. That is...
While you're looking up her name, I can tell you she is 6'2" when I met this crew. I look up to her.
That's Karina Knaggs, I believe, who is trimming right there. They're trying to hold their lane.
She's also co-tactician.
There you go. Great job. Nice. Beautiful. And they're going to peel out straight away. Here we go.
Sorry, that's Laura Dillon, co-tactician with Rick Deneve, who is both Dutch and Irish.
Quite the combination.
Here comes Katie. Katie, give it to us. What do you got?
So a funny story about the host club. Rick Deneve was the one filling out the crew list and actually put himself as the co-tactician, but he is in fact not the co-tactician. That is all Laura Dillon, who's really leading the charge for the team. That's and really taking command, just a wealth of knowledge. And she actually took a spill this morning when they were doing attack and popped right back up and ready to go. So, I mean, the whole crew there, they love to have a crack, as they say in Ireland. And yeah, just all around good sports. So I'm glad to see them kind of doing well, holding their own.
Thank you, Katie. You get the impression she's holding out on us a little bit too. Every time she talks, she gives us these nuggets like we've never known. That was really good. Thank you. Now, we're on board with Southern Yacht Club, Andy, in a bit of trouble.
Oh, yeah, they're in a bad lane there off the starting line, and that's going to give them a little trouble because they're down towards the pin. They've got to peel out. Here they go, ready for the tack. Katie Lovell on the left-hand side, pulling the runner on. Stick the handle in, give it a wind on, and now they've got to clear out. No good from Southern right now. Maybe it's the curse of the golden Spinnaker.
Yep.
Hasn't done them too badly so far. I think they'll be pretty happy if there are 2 races today, but we saw them grind their way back in the last race, ducking underneath New York Yacht Club. They've got a much better that's Eastern right there, and they're ducking underneath Royal Cork.
No, to my eye, they got a pack of 1, 2, 3, 4 more boats to duck. Oh, there it is. Doesn't look pretty.
Yeah. Atlantica Yacht Club Argentina ducking there, and then Southern Yacht Club get pounded by the Royal Thames, who are just tacking just to lure to them. That's going to make life hard for them. Can Johnny Lovell live in that position?
This is why you don't want the Golden Spinnaker.
Yeah.
You're a marked boat.
Yeah, this is real tough for them here.
Same boat that Lee bowed him last time. This time, Johnny Lovell, I think, has got the better of him. Look at him roll.
Yeah, I think Royal Thames are in a tough spot there as well. Great start from New York Yacht Club in the middle of the line.
Yeah.
They came off, all guns are blazing, the cannons were firing.
And San Diego, lured boat, bottom of your screen, number 17, just where we saw them in the first start. And if they can make this work, a double, well, I'm not going to say it, but it would be impressive if they keep things up the way they are. They are on fire today. That's an overhead shot, great overhead shot of San Diego Yacht Club. Keeping it classy.
Very good. Lovely pictures. Drone shot just leading them out. We challenged the drone pilot to just get a little more tricky with some of his shots, and he is doing as requested.
Spectacular. Now, Andy, we mentioned in the last race, this is not a shifty race course. This is all about boat speed, particularly powering the boats up and going through this chop. So you don't want to tack. Where you start on the line is pretty much where you're going to end up upwind if you get a good start. So it puts a premium on getting off the line clean. That's exactly what San Diego Yacht Club did here at the pin. Meanwhile, on board yet again with Hoth tacking onto starboard.
They look like they've got a nice bit of clear air there after the tack. And they are in quite a nice spot. I don't see any of those boats on the left-hand side in shot. Oh, here we go. Here's one coming in hot.
Ooh, big duck.
Duck, yeah. That's, I think, is that Royal Cork ducking them?
I got to be honest, that duck was so big you might have considered attack.
Yeah, but there are too many boats on port here. So this will be interesting. This is this Yacht Club Costa Smeralda? 14. Yeah, Yacht Club Costa Smeralda just crossing, no problem. There they go. These guys from the Amalfi Coast have done a great job today. They've really got their act together, got the bit between their teeth, and there's probably that big pasta dinner last night helping them out.
Just want to let you know that that boat on their bow that they are set to duck next was New York Yacht Club. For New York Yacht Club fans will be very happy that Track actually has them in second overall, if not tied for the lead on this beat with Atlantica Yacht Klubben for our right-hand side. It's the Finnish team. So you got Finland leading the right. You've got here San Diego Yacht Club leading the left-hand group, and New York punched in the middle if there are shifts. New York is set up in a great spot to take advantage of them, and they're in clear air.
Yeah, and Southern Yacht Club not having such a good race at all in this one. Eastern also not so good. So New York Yacht Club have a little sniff at closing that gap between Southern, Royal Cork.
I told you this is going to be a high-scoring regatta, Andy. Perhaps one of the highest in the fleet in the overall. I can look that up at some other point in time.
Yeah, we did talk about getting that data yesterday. I remember I had it 2 years ago, but I've got to go back to school. Haven't done.
Give
quite
you another
enough
2 years.
Yeah, I haven't done quite enough homework today.
We'll do the math between races here and let you guys know what the average score is in previous Invitational Cups and what it is currently.
Heel angle, great example. Yacht Club Argentino to leeward, not as good on their heel angle, a little more up and down. Hoth Yacht Club, just a little more stable and secure. Can they hold that lane? Yacht Club Argentino trying to squeeze them off. That probably won't help them at all. There we go, a little bit of traveller down just to try and speed the boat up slightly. They stalled a little high. Great pictures. This is fascinating to watch this wonderful fleet race here.
I give this team a lot of credit too because they spend most of their time, Andy, racing in offshore regattas. This is very much a one design small boat inshore sailors regatta as they try to live off of Yacht Club Argentino.
Yeah,
So
Emilio
far, so good.
Miguel, the helmsman, Christian Freyers, the tactician. I'm sure he's a family member of the famous Freyers yacht design gang. Fernando de Achaval, Georgie Elras, Gonzalo Julian Nandin, Anna Silva, Pablo Tadin, Torbio Tidin, Maria Silva as well. Another family boat. This is so wonderful to see here.
I love your grasp of the Spanish dialect. It is just spot on.
Argentina, is it Spanish or Portuguese?
I think it's Spanish.
Okay.
Brazil is Portuguese, but I think Argentina is Spanish.
Yeah, okay.
Muy bien, amigo. Muy impresionante con su acento.
Very good, yes. Well, as a Brit, I'm giving the Argentinians a lot of love, despite past history. Anyway, they have
Who's
best
this?
result, number 8, all the way on this left-hand side. The drone is up and following these boats. I'm going to give you that just in a second.
This is the middle of the group, not the farthest left. just to
Okay,
let
yes,
you know.
16. So that is Eastern,
Yeah.
and just to windward of them is
Club Costa Smeralda.
bow number 9.
And
Yacht Club Argentino, actually. We were just with them.
sorry, good call. Then Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, there's about 4 boat lengths to windward of all of them as the umpire moves into position. There are 5 umpire boats, Andy. 1 on the far right, 1 on the far left, 2 that go up the middle, and 1 that, or go up the sort of middle sides, and then 1 that goes out following the dead center of the fleet right to the windward mark. Then they turn around, stay on their respective sides, come back down.
Well, it's a fleet of boats and a, what do they call a group of umpires? A confusion of umpires.
I'll tell you, seeing those boats behind you in the regatta is a bit like the blue lights in your rearview mirror. You're nervous when you see them trailing behind you. You make sure you're doing everything correct.
Much, much tighter on this upwind leg. The course slightly shorter in this second race of the day, and it's going to be very busy when they come to the top mark. Itchner doing a good job all the way on the right hand side. Bow number 3.
Still looking at the leftmost boat. San Diego just crossing on port, maintaining their lead from the left. Here in the middle, who's getting forced to lee bow there? Ooh, perfect lee bow. That was great. Umpire's in position though, and you'll tack away. Who's that tacking away?
Eastern getting jammed out.
Thank you for playing. See you later.
Yeah. There's no friends on the race course today on this.
That was San Diego that tacked, that pinged Eastern off to the right. Beautiful. I mean, perfectly timed lee bow there. Meanwhile, Andy, where is New York Yacht Club? All the way top left of screen? Was a minute ago.
I mean, if you look on the track, I'd encourage you all to go and take a squiz. It is incredibly close. Can New York Yacht Club cross Nylandska Yachtklubben? This is currently for the lead. They cannot, so they lee bow and they're going back to the left-hand side. New York Yacht Club didn't really want to do that attack. I'm sure they wanted to carry on and head towards the right-hand side. They're all looking for the starboard ley line now. That's the crucial bit. The starboard ley line is going to be very, very busy. Plenty of boats are going to win and lose here.
I like what New York has done here. That track, these are the front 2 boats, and they've just tacked in front of their opposition. and therefore overtaking them for the lead. Both boats on starboard. I'm not sure if we're at ley line yet. Meanwhile, back in the race course, here's Royal Cork Yacht Club.
On board with them.
Let's bring Katie Nastro back in for an update on the fleet. Katie, where are you on the race course, and can you see that battle with New York Yacht Club? Can you see how they're doing?
Tucker, from my perspective, we're a little bit farther away from New York Yacht Club, and Danska Yachtklubben. That's how you pronounce it, Tucker. We need a little Finnish lesson for you. No, I'm a little bit further away from them, but the breeze is down, so this is, even though the course is shortened, it is definitely taking these teams a little bit longer to make their way up this windward beat.
You know what I like about Katie, Andy? She started out maybe a little soft, but it didn't take her long to start making fun of you and I quite quickly. You know, it's just where are we going to be by the end of this week?
New York Yacht Club crossing
Katie.
Hoth. New York Yacht Club there crossing Hoth. That was a crucial cross for them.
Yeah.
17, bow 17 just here. That is San Diego Yacht Club coming in from the left-hand side.
Those top two boats punched at the top of your screen. That's New York Yacht Club and Nalanskia Yachtklubben.
I don't really like the left quite so much. I think it's a little slower on the left because you can see they're bouncing into the waves. So those boats that are slightly ahead on the track on the right-hand side have got a much easier tack to come when they go onto starboard for the ley line to the top mark. I'd be interested in post-race debrief. Here we go. Houth and Yacht Club Argentino. Yacht Club Argentino not making it. Here they come back together again. It was only a few minutes ago we saw almost exactly the same
I think they're
situation.
going to roll this time.
Yeah, can they? It's going to be tough,
Let's
but
stay with this.
keeping smooth. There we go. Stay with it.
That's the difference between San Diego Yacht
Travel
Club's
around.
perfect lee bow on Eastern and Argentina's not so perfect. Oh, okay. Maybe I stand corrected.
Well, I think they didn't like it. I think they could have carried on there, but I think the right thing to do is to get right towards that starboard ley line because that'll be the final approach, and the boat's so close. Only 100 meters between the top 10 boats or so. Going to be very tight as they come in towards the top.
According to Track, there's a pile of starboard tackers coming. That's why the trimmer was staying in, just to have a look at that. Meanwhile, far left of the race course, I think it's tough to tell from where the drone's perspective is, Andy. Has the breeze gone left a little bit for San Diego, or is that just an illusion?
I still like the right, just because your final approach to the windward mark is side on to the waves, not banging into them.
It almost looks like the waves are bigger down at this side of the racetrack than when you watch the boats out to the far right.
Unlikely.
Hobby horsing more, right?
Unlikely, but I'll go with it. That's okay.
Well,
Everyone's got an opinion,
you know what that's like.
particularly these days.
Well, let's give the Finnish team credit. This is their best race so far of the regatta for sure. Take a look at. Yeah, this is also, they've done 3 of these regattas. They did the first 3, 09, 11, and 13. They took a hiatus until now. They're back. Great to have them back. Great to be back on board with Johnny Lovell and crew. What's going on here?
Ooh, what's going on?
Is that a...
That's a go penalty.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
What is going on? They must have had a port starboard. That looks absolutely like a penalty. Great on board. We went on just at the right moment. 2 turns. Terrible news for the Southern Yacht Club.
Is it 2 turns, Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, incident and accident, and the current leaders by 10 points are spinning, folks.
How many points per circle?
Throw the cards in the air. It is all on again. Here we go, back to the drone, and we can see.
What happened there?
My word. Well, we'll have to get that in debrief. We don't quite have the tech for rewinds, but
This, I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the highest scoring Invitational Cups you and I have witnessed, Andy, and any team can win it among the top group, top half basically, particularly when you take Southern Yacht Club's 10-point advantage going into this race. 2 circles will wipe that right away.
oh yeah, it's going to be all on. Well, it makes it more exciting to see, less exciting I'm sure for Southern Yacht Club fans, but at the moment the leaders.
I'm going to say something about the fans. Of all the regattas we've seen, when Southern Yacht Club does compete in the Invitational Cup, they have the biggest support group of any yacht club. And I think we should start a competition between the yacht club fans to see who can cheer the loudest, how many followers we can get online chiming in and supporting their team.
Yeah.
If you're supporting Southern, I apologize for those 2 circles. That was hard to watch for Johnny Lovell and crew, can they catch back up? Meanwhile, Hoth Yacht Club, this one of their better races, Andy.
Nylandska Yacht Club and the New York Yacht Club battling it out in first and second, but they have the slimmest of margins. The team from Helsinki, Finland, their yacht club founded in 1861. Helming is Henrik Thielen. The tactician, Magnus Borg, a very old friend of mine, sailed against him in the Nations Cup in 1993, aging myself more than anybody else. Nikki Blazar, Camilla Krudusic, Johan Dromberg, Jan Osterman, Matthias Thurman, and Samuel Veslev. That is the team from Helsinki, Finland, and the Nylandska Yacht Club.
A
Katie.
real Olympian on board. Camilla was a 49er FX sailor back in Rio with Nora Riskala. I had the pleasure of chatting with them when I was working with the 49er FX suite.
Is that it? With Katie, I feel like there's always more to the backstory.
I'm gonna keep it in my back pocket for now, Tucker.
All right, thanks, Katie.
Okay, Henrik Thielen from the Nylandska Yacht Club won the Corinthian World Championships in the Melges 24, but also competed in the 1989-90 Whitbread Round the World race on Belmont, Finland, where he sailed with his brother. Very good sailor. Magnus Bjorg, also an H-boat runner-up World Championships and fourth in the Soling Europeans, and a big dragon sailor as well. Magnus, the tactician, great guy.
To bring you back into the picture from your notes, Andy, we're on board with Royal Cork Starboard. These guys are overstood compared to the rest of the fleet. New York Yacht Club, meanwhile, is leading into the top mark, Andy, but they are way low of ley line. They've got to do two potentially very costly tacks to get around the mark. That's when it's going to get interesting.
I think they're going to be all right, New York, here. I think New York might be okay. It's going to be close, but I'm quietly hopeful. We're going to stick with Hoth here. This is fascinating. Look at all the boats that are having to tack to leeward of them. And they've got a blocker there ahead of them in Royal Cork, all in red. Yes, of course they are. This is not Hoth, this is Royal Cork. And they are just to windward as they come in. They're just
Got the Irish part, right?
Yeah, just shy of lay.
There's so many Irish teams that we focused on. It's a good time to thank the Irish Sailing Federation for cross-posting and sharing the broadcast all throughout Ireland. So thanks to all the Irish fans supporting your teams here in this regatta.
Here is Hoth, and they're on port now, coming in towards that top mark. Hold on to your hats, folks. This is going to be real tricky coming into the top here.
This is their first regatta for Hoth, Andy. Does that make them green?
Well, quite. Very good. Okay, into the windward mark, and I see there, that is New York Yacht Club tacking just to leeward of the jib there on Hoth.
Yep, far of your screen. So those two tacks worked, and they're still in the lead. The host club is leading this final race this afternoon. We received word that it is going to be the last race today because of the storm's delay this morning. So New York Yacht Club leads Nylandska Yacht Club and San Diego Yacht Club as we approach the windward mark for the first time in this last race today. So from Hoth on the left, we go back on board with Royal Cork on the right. Look at how stacked up this ley line is, Andy. Everybody's at a pinch fest.
Yeah, look at Ben Field just putting his head down and taking a look. Are they going to keep it? They're all trying to lay that top mark, and I think they're okay.
It looks slow.
But it's New York Yacht Club who have turned around a couple of tricky races to getting right back into it.
Just when they needed to. I mean, look, they were roughly what? 15 points behind the leader, Southern Yacht Club. And Southern. Oh, look at the ducks, Andy. 1 starboard tacker, 2 starboard tacker, 3 starboard tacker, 4.
Oh, and they're going to tack in a really tough spot there. Oh dear. Stay on board with Hoth. This is going to be real ugly.
Oh man, I'll give you a lesson here, Andy, for those that are helmsmen. This is where you actually want to point the bow below the windward mark. Don't pitch. Don't try to make it now. Put the bow a little bit down below the mark, and then at the last second, if you do have momentum, you can scoop up above head to wind, luff your jib when you do so, and try to get around the mark. Are they going to do it?
No.
Or are they going to bail?
Oh.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah.
you almost knew as soon as they tacked. It would have been better to duck. And there's Southern Yacht Club, Andy. Just rounding in front of them. Here we go. Top of the track. Who's that? Number 16 is rounded. That's Eastern Yacht Club, sitting in about 5th place. Your leaders still New York and San Diego, 1 and 2, heading downwind with the Finnish Nylandskia Yacht Klubben in 3rd.
The helmsman on Houth Yacht Club, Darren Wright, having a terrible time. His tactician, Laura Dillon and Rick Deneve, not having a good time at all, bailing out of that top mark, having to do a turn to get themselves clear. Karen Knaggs, Luke Malloy, Sam O'Brien, Brian Turvey, Rocco Wright and Michael Wright, all struggling now to get around that top mark. Here they go. Katie, give us the latest.
Let's bring Katie in. It looks like it's tight to make that mark.
Yeah, it is tight to make that mark. Unfortunately, Hoth as well as American had to bail out, do a turn, come back around and try to reapproach. So unfortunately, any gains that they had made on that left side were sadly taken away from them. But that's okay. Again, there's another, we're at the top of the race. This is our first downwind, so plenty more racing to be had. But breeze is down. I have to say it again. The sea state is looking choppy, especially with our spectators and our crew out here in the water, our excellent crew, I should say, that's been keeping everybody safe. And yeah, getting those calls in, our wonderful umpire team. But the sea state is looking a bit rocky at this top mark. So very curious to see what this downwind looks like.
Thanks, Katie. You mentioned the umpire team. We're on board in picture here with Southern Yacht Club. They had to do 2 circles. Can you see where they are in the fleet? Pretty close to the back of the pack, unfortunately.
Yes, they are. I want to say 5th from the back. So I'm not good. Don't quote me on my math skills, but I would say that they're 14th right now.
Oh, so we're on board with them. We'll see if they can pick their way back through the fleet. What's this? Another circle. Hoth Yacht Club.
Oh,
ouch.
Hoth had to bail out, and now they've got turns as well. It's gone from bad to worse, and they are on the downwind leg, so they had to take their Spinnaker
No, not even,
down.
really? Have they even gotten around? I am dizzy. I feel...
They're making their way downwind as we speak, but you know, it's a young team, a younger team, I should say, that hasn't sailed on an IP-37 before. They've got the youngest crew member aboard. I know we chatted about that earlier.
Yeah, Rocco.
Rocco Wright. You know, this guy he couldn't be happier to be on board with the crew. So, you know, even though they might not be doing as well as they would like, I'm sure they're all going to have a crack, have a beer after, and just, you know, chalk it up to a good time.
Nice. Thank you, Katie. Now we're headed downwind with the entire fleet. New York Yacht Club, the host of the Invitational Cup, now in its 7th edition. Of course, they've sailed in every single one after winning the inaugural event in 2009, is leading this race, Andy. It will, no question, it will be a high-scoring regatta, which opens it up to New York and the rest of the fleet, particularly with that yellow or gold Spinnaker, Southern Yacht Club, so far behind. Look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they were in bad shape at that top mark, and now they're underneath the Canadian boat in dirty air right at the back towards the back. They're at the moment in 13th, the Southern Yacht Club. To windward them, taking their breeze, the Royal Vancouver Yacht Club. But here out with the leaders, New York Yacht Club, San Diego Yacht Club, and Royal Thames. And here's Hoth just covering themselves, taking a deep breath.
Got the kite back up. They've jibed away. At least they're going to roll the dice. You can see them way in the back there.
Right.
Could be some breeze to get back into it. Meanwhile, New York Yacht Club leads San Diego, the 2 American Spinnakers, ahead of Royal Thames. Royal Thames is back, Andy. Royal Thames led after the first race.
Yeah, let's have a look at that golden Spinnaker here on board with them. This is what I was talking about. Southern Yacht Club being blanketed by the Royal Vancouver Yacht Club. They can't get around them. They can't get past. The only option is to jibe, and I just don't think jibing is a good thing to do right now.
I'm sure you know Dave Perry, Andy.
I do.
There's not a sailor in America that hasn't been coached at some point in their life by Dave. I remember as a junior sailor, he said something very fascinating once. He said, if you are behind a slower boat like this to leeward and you want to get things going, what's the best thing that Southern can do if you can't jibe away in this position? Dave would say, start coaching. the boat to windward. At least that'll help you move forward as well. So if you're faster than that boat, Johnny, start telling them what to do. Put the pedal down.
That's pretty hard in these conditions and frankly pretty rude.
Whatever it takes.
And New York Yacht Club doing a nice job of just surfing down those waves and getting themselves a little extension, a 50-meter lead now. And what New York Yacht Club really want is this breeze actually to build and steady, because when you're in the lead, a steady building breeze is exactly what you want.
As long as it doesn't build from the behind first.
Well, you just don't want it to go light and fluky. They're getting down towards the bottom mark. Here we go. We'll go on board. We'll go with them for this jibe. So ease the chute, get it in on the new side, hold the boom across a little, let it fill. Quite enough turn through the jibe, but
not too bad. It's just it's going light out there, just as you mentioned, the breeze. Second place looks like they've made some gains on that jibe, Andy, on their weather. Hip is San Diego Yacht Club. Royal Thames continues. Nylenskaya Yacht Klubben.
oh, the drone,
Jibe.
beautiful. Love that. Whole fleet right there, sailing downwind towards the first leeward mark. Question will be where to go for jam on this second upwind leg as it gets lighter. I'd suspect the breeze will probably go to the right-hand side. But New York Yacht Club have put themselves in a good spot. San Diego Yacht Club really doing a great job of digging themselves out and up the leaderboard. If they can get a win in a top 3 result here, that'll solidify them in the top 6. Might even get them towards the top 5, no problem. And Nylenskaya Yacht Club and also doing very well. Best result of the regatta so far for these guys. A little lighter. See, I did see a couple of questions earlier. There are no throwouts in this race.
Yep.
You've got to count them all. That's part of this Corinthian spirit. Every race counts.
Do not remind Johnny Lovell of that.
These are IC-37s, Mark Mills designed boats specifically for the New York Yacht Club, specifically for this event. They are available as a fleet boat, but New York Yacht Club, there we go, just going a little higher just to protect themselves against San Diego Yacht Club. That's not great for them because it just loses a little distance, but it looks like they're pretty close to being on ley line. And that is why New York Yacht Club are deciding just to go a little faster, putting the bow up and just following along behind them in the drone. And this is what it'd be like if you could fly. Lovely view. House 17, San Diego.
You know, New York Yacht Club has a long history of one-design fleets over the decades. Members have had different fleets of boats. The most recent one before this was the Swan 42. Then they switched to 20 brand new IC-37s, purpose-built for this type of racing and for this regatta, which New York Yacht Club pioneered, the Invitational Cup.
So we got a question from the famous Southern sailor Jackson Benvenuti. I've sailed from Miami to Havana with him. Very fun race. He said, do we know why the Southern Yacht Club got the spins? Well, the latest we hear, unofficial, the umpires haven't managed to get their comms sorted for the media calls, but we believe it was a port starboard towards the windward mark, and they were deemed to have not been clear on port, and they were given that 2-circle penalty, changing the landscape of this overall scores considerably on board with Royal Cork.
I wonder how many teams have had to do turns. I met one of the umpires yesterday, and they've been quite busy in this regatta.
More today than any before.
Yeah. We tend to focus a lot on the front half of the fleet with the camera footage, but those in the back, some of them are there because of having to spin circles and then work their way back through the rest of the fleet. I'd be curious to know how many penalties the umpires have given out in the regatta so far. That'll tell you how hard teams are pushing when it gets close. Speaking of close, San Diego trying to reel in New York Yacht Club, who is trying to keep their air clear. Andy, are we on ley line, do you think, or will there be another jibe by the angle from San Diego Yacht Club? I'm Not sure if there's another jibe
No,
in it.
I think they're on ley line, and I think that's why New York Yacht Club put the bow up just to protect themselves going into that mark, and that suggests that there may have been a little bit of a right-hand shift, and so I'd expect the boats to go around the right-hand mark as we look upwind. So no more jibes.
This is to the finish, isn't it?
No.
Have I just missed? Maybe that was wishful thinking on my part. I thought we were wrapping up for the day.
No, we got another round
Oh
to
my
do.
gosh, we got to go all the way around again. So that, and the breeze is dropping. That's going to make it very difficult for New York Yacht Club because they can't cover both sides of the fleet.
Yep, and if you're a fan of the New York Yacht Club, it's another 26 minutes of excruciating tension as I'm sure they're wishing the best for their Commodore Culver leading this game.
Dropping. Let's bring Katie back in and ask what she's seeing out there on the water. Katie, is it me or is the breeze dropping a little bit on average overall? Oh, we finally got her, Andy. She was taking a nap.
No Katie, but
Okay.
we will call her back and see whether she can talk us through this leeward mark rounding.
I think it's dropping out there, Andy.
Yep, New York Yacht Club.
Get some of your fancy technology up on the screen and we can,
I'll go
just
for,
looking at it, look, there's higher angles here.
we'll go for some buoy data out there.
Boat speed has dropped.
Part of that is that the tide has eased and is now pretty much changed, so we're going to get a little, let's see if we can get the boat speeds coming up on the screen. There we go, New York Yacht Club 8.2. So in the races we saw yesterday at the end of the day, we had 13, 14 knots, San Diego 8.2. Very similar speeds on this downwind. New York Yacht Club just soaking a little bit here to try and get down towards that mark and across there between Yacht Club Argentino and Royal Cork Yacht Club. Ben Field looking at the bottom mark. He's like, can we get down? What is it going to be? You've got to make your decisions right now to decide which marks you go around. Oh, and New York. Oh, no.
They're soaking.
Super soaked down to this mark. Oh, this is...
This could be very costly. Do you do two jibes or do you soak? And this is sort of like a soak two jibe, the worst of each one. Meanwhile, San Diego's just flying into the next mark. Now they had the opposite mark. They had to sail extra distance, but they kept their speed up. New York is going to be slow, Andy, but they will just maintain their lead. No, maybe not. Look how slow it is.
That is
Now, what would
tough.
you have done there? Would you have done two complete jibes? I mean, it was just off on ley line. That's the sort of the death zone there. You don't want to be soaking.
Yeah, real tricky right there because you have to do a bunch of maneuvers. You've got to get the chute down. You're not laying properly. And what are Royal Cork going to do? They've jibed. So they decided they couldn't get down to this. And what happened was everyone decided on the ley line, good ley lines into the bottom. And then as the breeze goes lighter, those ley lines change and you can't get down to the mark properly. So difficult decisions on board all the boats. Pete Levesque, the tactician. Whoa!
There you go.
Ben Field there,
Stay with us.
almost going over the side. Don't want to get wet, mate. As he...
It's amazing, the camera held there. Look at this crowd coming into the marks next, Andy. Is that Royal Canadian?
I think that's
Or Vancouver?
Vancouver.
Well, anyway, they've jibe dropped for them. Number 5, I believe it is. Royal Canadian, yep. Terry McLaughlin and crew just ahead of 7, which is Norotan Yacht Club. Good race for them. A little bit more of a crowd to the left-hand side on the top of the screen there, that gate.
Itchner.
It's their sailing club. No sail number on their main because they changed it out for the spare.
Top of screen on board Royal Southern having to follow around 6 boats, including Eastern Yacht Club. Johnny Lovell in these light conditions, really struggling to get the boat going. And this is going to be a tough spot for them as they head upwind. He's going to try and go as close to that mark as possible.
Traffic
But look at the bad air that they're getting as they go around the mark. You'll see the boat start to bounce up and down. He can't tack until he's clear.
Tack.
He can't tack until he's clear there.
Tack.
Yeah, right.
Please tack.
I think it's going to be really difficult for them. They can't tack yet. There are still boats coming downwind, but here they go. As soon as they get the chance. Oh, no!
No, that's good. That's good. At least it'll clear as air.
Eastern tack, so they continue for a little bit more, but it looks like everyone trying to tack onto port, the boat hobby horsing around.
Lots of slop.
Like those oil rig diggers that they have down there in Louisiana.
Man, that is tough. Meanwhile, having a much easier time of it out in front in clear air, up to full pace. Number 17 from the West Coast, San Diego Yacht Club, finished second in the last regatta to Royal Sydney, almost won the regatta. The dominant performance. Currently chasing New York Yacht Club, upwind for the lead. San Diego is heading left on starboard. New York Yacht Club is heading still on port to the right. Katie, can you hear us?
Yes, Tucker. I am watching my old friend and teammate Tyler Sinks and his crew. You know what? From my vantage point, it appears that there is more breeze on this left side of the course, and that's what I believe he is digging into right now. New York Yacht Club, it just appears a little bit down in comparison. And I'm not sure if you saw the update, but I was able to get with the umpires, and that call on Southern was, in fact, port starboard. Costa Smeralda, they had to luff up to avoid them as they were tacking to keep clear. So it was, in fact, a port starboard, and unfortunately, it is put them in not the best position in this final upwind leg.
Yeah, well done, Katie. As you're saying that, we're looking at it looks like an isolated left-hand puff in the middle of the track, and a bunch of boats have tacked onto port to stay in that velocity. Is that what you're seeing?
That's correct, yes. It's definitely a lefty, and the pressure's building. If you're heading far out to that right-hand side, I just don't believe you are in as much pressure.
Now, the pressure we were just referring to was to the right of San Diego Yacht Club, and you just saw them there. Track is a couple seconds behind, a delay there, but they tack onto port. That's to connect with that velocity, Andy. There was a bit of vein of pressure just coming down the middle of the track, and I think Tyler Sinks and crew made a good call to tack and connect with it. The breeze is dropping, so we're shifting into what I used to call connect the dots weather, where regardless of the shift, you have got to stay in those veins of pressure and connect those pressure lanes upwind.
I think maybe I'm seeing a little more tidal advantage, 0.1, 0.2 of a knot, but we heard yesterday from Johnny Lovell when we talked to him, it's going from the leeward mark to the windward mark now, and when we talked to Johnny Lovell yesterday, he said sometimes on these ocean courses, when it gets bumpy, if you slow the boat down, it can take up to a minute to get back to the correct boat speed. Most importantly, you don't actually get the correct angle. You have to put the bow down to try and get speed. Well, we'd also like to say thanks to the Irish Sailing Association, who are streaming us live all around Ireland.
Federation, right? Yeah.
Federation, thank you. They're not associated, they're federated.
Number 12. Oh, there's that Finnish team right in there again, actually giving San Diego a bit of trouble.
That's right, very nicely.
Yeah, they crossed ahead of them and tacked on their hip, but it's so hard to tell from the drone shot. It looks to me like that vein of pressure was in the middle. You've got to connect these dots, but Andy, it's getting fluky and light out there. The farthest two right boats are Royal Thames and New York Yacht Club, top of your screen. They look punched to me, but it looks a little bit soft out there as well. This is a question of you've got to play your side, you've got to pick the veins of breeze, and you've got to hope that it goes your way, because you're not going to cross the course and play big shifts. In this case, keep the bow down, go for the most amount of pressure, and it's really spread this fleet out. Look at them.
New York Yacht Club holding around a 35 to 40 meter lead over the Royal Thames, and Track have got San Diego all the way on the left-hand side, not doing as well at all.
I like the right. I think the left, far left at least, I think is caving a little bit. Just guessing on what we see there. Here's New York Yacht Club.
Clearly.
That's their lead over Royal Thames.
Yeah, New York Yacht Club there on the right. Royal Thames, Itchner. Royal Thames will be happy with this. This will keep them very much in the hunt for the final 2 days. Remember, we've got Friday and we've got Championship Day, the final results on Saturday, and this, the final race of the day.
We should have a competition between the track operator and the drone pilot. They're both amazingly steady.
Yeah, right. Spin it around. Go. I don't think the track operator can go in between the mainsail and the jib, though. That's what we're going to challenge the other guy to do on Saturday.
He said he'd wait to the last race because
he doesn't want to rip any of the sails.
He's that good, though. He's that good.
Yeah. New York Yacht Club way out on the right-hand side. I say way out. They're just a little beyond the center of the racecourse. Southern Yacht Club now tacking.
In clear air, at least.
Ooh, yeah, that's about all they've got, because they're in 15th, 14th, 15th right now.
Made a couple points.
That would be that would be 60%. If they finish 15th, that would be over 60% of their points in one single race.
One single move, one single foul.
Right?
San Diego Yacht Club is 15. How many points is that behind? No, they're 19 points behind.
Well, I think the fact is there's nothing decided, that's for sure. And I just don't see Southern Yacht Club being able to get back into too much more of this.
Well,
Great to watch, Johnny, right here. Let's stay on board. Lighter. No, not full hiking. All about. Stable. Heel angle.
You know what I like about your commentary, Andy? When it gets light and soft, you kind of sound like a golf announcer.
Oh, yeah.
It's light and lumpy. Stand by. I think he's going to bring out the 700.
Why is he using the putter?
Oh, in the sand trap there.
Yeah, a couple of really bad waves. And check the clouds just above their heads there. That might give them an idea that there's a little more breeze under those clouds.
It usually is on the front edge of the cloud, right?
Yeah, and the skill of the sailors is deciding where the best breeze is and which direction it's going to be pushed by those clouds as it comes down the race course.
San Diego. Couple degrees left. San Diego is going to own this race. Couple degrees right, and it'll be New York Yacht Club and Royal Thames. According to Track, it's currently the right-hand boats, but only just. New York Yacht Club, just over Royal Thames, and then San Diego now. New York Yacht Club and Royal Thames are approaching the right-hand extremity. They're going to have to tack, so there'll be a tack down to San Diego, but San Diego will be on port. It's going to be an interesting fight for the front, Andy, for this final beat and the final run to the finish. Can New York Yacht Club hang on to victory? They need it.
Yeah, well, this makes life a lot easier for the commentators. The closer the racing is, the better it becomes. And right now we've got a real turnaround. Royal Thames and New York Yacht Club both on 39 points, and this will just add 1 or 2 points if they can stay like this. We're with Royal Cork, hobby horsing around there through the waves, such tricky conditions.
Where is Royal Cork in the fleet? On port, obviously. We'll find them. Stand by.
Yeah, Royal Cork, get into
9th place. There they are. Middle. This is dead center in the fleet.
Okay, well, we had Kenny Reed earlier, and because this is a family show, we've got a lot of family boats. It seemed remiss to leave out his brother, Brad Reed, head of sail Newport, does great for youth sailing and all sorts. People learning how to sail here in Newport. Brad, give us your perspective out on the race course.
Well, I'm watching track in my office here, so the race course, Andy. I'm just looking at track, but I've been out there for 2 times sailing this event and 2 other times coaching, and I must say this is one of the best events in the New York Yacht Club. Does a fantastic job, and you and Tucker are doing a fantastic job.
Great. Well, Brad's been giving me updates as if he was out on the race course. Just talk us through those 2 penalties that you saw and tell us what happened.
Yeah, so Southern was approaching Yacht Club's, I think it was Costa Smeralda.
Yep.
And they were approaching on port, and it looks like they did a late tack onto starboard, and for sure it seemed to me that the judges or the umpires called them for tacking too close. Unless it was a port starboard and they didn't see them. I can't think that they didn't see them.
And then you pointed out one in the previous race at the pin end start.
Yeah, so Royal Canadian looked like they were shooting the pin, and they might have fouled somebody and potentially hit the mark, or they fouled somebody and the umpires gave them 2 spins, and for them to come back to a 5th after that was truly an amazing comeback. And a huge lefty on track right now shows New York Yacht Club potentially passed by 3 or 4 boats from the left.
Wow. Okay, well, thanks for your update, Brad. Good to have you on the stream, and thanks for all the work you do at Sail Newport.
Thanks a lot, Andy. Good luck. Bye.
You you know what amazed me? First of all, it's great to have Brad. So special to have both he and his brother in the broadcast. But I can't believe Brad didn't take a dig at his brother. Every time I hear him talk publicly, he throws some kind of zinger. Those two, it's hysterical.
I think that's interesting. That left-hand shift has come in a little bit, as Brad alerted us to. He is watching like a hawk in his office, looking over Newport Harbor. I'm sure he'll be out on the water on Saturday.
Looking at the graphics on screen, the New York Yacht Club is far left of screen. San Diego here is in the center. San Diego's on port, and as Brad alluded to, it's a big left-hand shift, which has them crossing the majority of the fleet, and a lot of other boats are now wound up on port, which will give Royal Thames and New York Yacht Club, who are your rightmost boats on starboard, a lot of trouble.
It's gone so bad for the New York Yacht Club.
Okay, so yes, they're on starboard tack, but they're going to get a pile of port tackers that will be tacking on them, and it's a thin ley line, so this is going to be very tough for the teams that were leading from the right-hand side. Royal Thames just over New York. Royal Thames lee-bowed New York, and New York stayed there. That shows you that they're on lay or above lay. They can't tack away. So New York just falling back a little bit. Royal Thames struggling to stay in the top 5, 3 or 4 maybe. San Diego, meanwhile, is about to enter the bottom of your screen on port. That left shift has put them, Andy, comfortably in the lead.
Wow.
Let's keep zooming out here. Bottom right hand out of frame is going to be San Diego Yacht Club if we can go up and zoom out.
Yeah, well, you hinted that left-hand side might be coming good, but oh dear, it's all unraveling now for the New York Yacht Club.
See if we can just get a bigger picture here. So the windward mark's going to be at the bottom of your screen. Okay, so we're kind of looking down the track. There's the finish boat, and there, look at that, Andy. Big lefty and big lead for San Diego, setting up for starboard ley line. Big change of events. Where's Southern?
Southern's still not in great shape, but it's a big shuffle around. Southern coming in from the left.
Far left. That's a big roll of the dice for Johnny Lovell and crew, but if this breeze keeps ticking left the way it is, they're going to get right back in this race. The top mark is in the bottom left of your screen, number 4.
It's gone lighter by 5 knots, and we've got a left-hand shifter, 070, so big lefty.
Let's bring Katie in to confirm what we're seeing on track. In fact, what's happening for real out on the race course, Katie.
Yes, Tucker, that lefty came in, really paid off for Tyler Six and his crew and anybody else that kind of hedged their bets left. And for a while there, though, I did think that right hand was going to pay off. They seem to be in more breeze, New York Yacht Club, but now, unfortunately, it is that middle left that really paid off, and that left-hand shift keeps winding. So keep your eyes on San Diego, as well as the finish boat is doing an exceptional job this race.
Now, the very far left-hand side is Southern Yacht Club. They've rolled the dice to the left. With this shift, do you think they can get back in the mix?
I feel like it's going to be a fight for them. If they can play a really great downwind, kind of, get out from underneath everybody's bad air and sail their own race, they might have a shot of getting back into the top 7 at least. They are making their way slowly but surely. The wind is down, so that's the only kind of detriment to kind of making up any gain. You're fighting against a dying wind here.
I mean, it's as if we've just shuffled most of the fleet, except for San Diego. They've been punching out towards the front, and New York Yacht Club is having a bit of trouble along with Royal Thames there, and the Nederlandse Yacht Cluben to stay in the hunt for the front. Track has them dropping down a little bit. Meanwhile, Southern Yacht Club is ticking through the points ever so slightly with that left-hand shift. Andy, they banged the left corner. They were back in, 16th, 17th place at one point. Now we've got them in single digits. Southern Yacht Club working their way back to the fleet.
Saving their regatta right here. You're seeing it right here, right now, saving themselves. That is New York Yacht Club right there. Southern back in the game.
New York, who was leading. They were in first place for most of this race. Now Southern has come from behind. Boy, this is a big shuffle amongst the entire fleet. It's a light race, Andy. Some might say that's less exciting, but I've been on the edge of my seat this entire race 8.
Good fun. This is great. Well, just so you all know, we've got it's competition time. So on Saturday, we've got boats in first, second, and third overall with the onboard cameras.
Yep, but we've got 4 cameras total.
So that fourth camera is going to go to the yacht club that we get most action out of on social media, on Facebook, YouTube, and the like.
We
So
want to hear
those of
from you.
Yeah, those of you who cheer hardest, loudest, and can type the fastest will get your onboard camera on as the fourth boat. It's a very arbitrary decision, so have at it.
If you want to spend the day on board with your favorite yacht club team, you've got to get all the members behind that and send us, overload the inbox here on if we want to hear from you, Facebook, YouTube, and all the other channels. Meanwhile, Top Mark, the winner of the first race, back in front of this second race of the day, San Diego Yacht Club. When they turn it on, Andy, they really perform.
Yep.
No question about that. And remember how big of a lead they had in the last race? Well, that's because they got such a good start, played the right shifts. But here they had to claw their way, fight their way back up to the front, and they've done it in fantastic form.
They're still not out of this for the overall.
No. They're 175 meters over second place, which Track has is Royal Thames Yacht Club, and a big crowd of boats approaching the windward mark behind them.
You can tell it's lighter. Jibs are down on the downwind leg, so that is the leader, and we'll pan out to see the other boats as they come towards the top mark.
Royal Thames struggling to maintain second. Let's see if we can see. There we
There
go.
you go.
Royal Thames right there holding off third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Southern Yacht Club is somewhere in the mix there, Andy.
Yeah, Tucker, Andy, honestly, eat my words there, because Southern is making an approach to the lane line right now. They really came out of nowhere. But that just goes to show you that this, if you're a good, not that anyone isn't a good sailor, but if you're somebody like John Lovell who knows how to just kind of
Fighting
get
for
it
fifth.
going, he's got a great team, you can get yourself back into the mix.
Still, thank you, Katie. Still, that is impressive in a fleet like this. There's Southern just now. I believe that's Southern, Andy.
Yeah, ducking.
So what are they in? Maybe 7th place right now? We had them in 17th about 20 minutes ago.
Wowzers.
Here is
Royal
Royal
Thames.
Thames.
They've dug their way out of it. New York Yacht Club now coming in and are going to have to go underneath Southern Yacht Club. What an unbelievable turnaround.
Well, but this still is a keeper for New York. It's single digits for Southern, who's gotten back up, and it's single digits for New York as well if they can stay with this group. Every point counts in the Invitational Cup on board with Southern at the Spinnaker hoist. Remember, New York is just behind them. In front of them is San Diego Yacht Club in first, followed by Royal Thames Yacht Club Argentino, Norotan Yacht Club, Andy, in fourth, Nylanska Yacht Club, who was leading a couple legs ago with New York there in fifth, followed by American, Southern, New York, Royal Cork, and Royal Canadian. There's your top 10, and here's the hoist for Southern. Something held it up for a second there. Now put it in double time for the masked man. Good job, it's up. Finnish boat just to windward of them. And here's where you just want to concentrate, Andy. Stay focused, stay in it, pick off maybe one more boat, maybe two, and this will be a keeper for Southern Yacht Club. Meanwhile, out in front and unstoppable.
In race number 8, San Diego Yacht Club. Tyler Sinks and his crew did a great job hooking into that left-hand shift, putting the pedal down, overtaking and then extending their lead. Beautiful sailing. They are no slouches, and we saw them 2 years ago come to blows at the last windward mark on the last race. Maybe they can do a majestic come from behind in this regatta, and they're doing a great job of it so far.
Well, they had an 18-point lead that fizzled away in that one windward mark round. One issue we just saw with Southern, same type of thing. One issue sent them to the back. Now they are clawing their way right back into the hunt. You know what impresses me most, Andy, to give with all credit to San Diego Yacht Club, is not so much a team that starts out towards the front and leads around the racetrack. It's a boat that can come from behind in a double-digit score and then claw their way back up into a savable race. Southern Yacht Club right now in 7th place as we head downwind in the final run. Impressive.
Wowzers.
Meanwhile, on board with Royal Cork, Katie.
Okay, we're on the move. The course has changed. The wind has shifted that much that we need to, in fact, move the finish line.
Good update. Thank you, Katie. So, Andy, that massive left-hand shift has shuffled the entire course now. And as we look downwind, the finish line will move to the left to stay centered up on the wind direction. And that's going to open the door a little bit for some of these trailing boats to play a few shifts if they can jibe well on them.
I'm very surprised that the breeze went left. I just wouldn't have expected that. I'm going to have to go back and look at the weather data as to why that was. Here's Southern now jibing. A little hasty on the jibe, but seems to be okay.
Playing some of those shifts that we talked about now that the final run is squared up. For all the teams, I believe San Diego has jibed as well. Yep.
New York Yacht Club, one of the earlier jibing boats there. They're looking for something in that right-hand side on the race course.
Currently sitting in 8th, New York is. If they can pick off a boat or two, that'll be a very good score. I think we're going to get the math for you overnight and start putting this in the broadcast, but we're guessing that a 6th or a 7th, which is a very high-scoring regatta, a 6th or a 7th place average could win you this. Right now, New York is in 8th, Southern is in 7th. And we're on board with Royal Cork, who currently sits in 9th, right behind Southern Yacht Club. Breeze just picking up another knot or two, Andy. It was that left-hand shift that brought a little bit of a new breeze across the course. You couldn't have planned on that 25 minutes ago when the fleet was rounding the leeward mark. You had to pick a side. New York and the Finnish team, this boat here, picked the right. San Diego and Southern, to be fair, picked the left. Left paid off at the top, big time.
Yeah, amazing.
And I love how Brad Reed is studying everything on.
Knows more than we do.
He's spot on. hasn't missed a shift. Looks like an overhead jibe setting up.
Nylandska Yacht Club and bow 12, easing the Spinnaker, little early on the mainsail and a little late on the new trim. So a little boat handling work from Coach Drone, but they'll be able to review that. A little too quick through the turn, but maybe they needed to do that just to attack the boats and then quite fast out of it right there.
Just on their bow is American Yacht Club. Just to leeward of them is Norotan Yacht Club to the outside. And look, as we pan up, Andy, you'll see the rest of the fleet. It looks soft at the top of the screen. I mean, who knows? There's a minefield out there between the puffs and the lulls.
Yeah, this is very challenging.
Only good news is if you can pick your way through this the best, you can make a few valuable points.
Oh, bad jibe there. Who's that?
Oh, that's Norotan. Norotan Yacht Club.
Norotan, who were doing so well, were forced to jibe away there, and now they're going back to the left-hand side.
It looks soft.
Yeah, doesn't it look soft all around right now?
I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of breeze way out there that they're going to go chase. Got to play your own race in these. Pick your way through. Where's New York? 6th. New York has made up a point.
Maybe that jibe was okay for them.
And the fleet spreads out like this, even on track, which is very accurate. It's very tough to believe the positions, because once the wind shifts a little bit with that much leverage from one side of the track to the other, the boats jibe and it shuffles again, except for this boat, San Diego. Just unstoppable. This will be a double bullet day for them. A first and a first. I'll have to go back through the scores historically, Andy. I don't know of any team that was unbeaten for a full day in the Invitational Cup. Mind you, we have 2 races instead of 3, but an impressive performance for San Diego. It's almost like they woke up. You know, they had a slow start the first few days, and now it's like turn on the afterburners.
Bam, bam. Good work on board Southern.
So here, Andy, just to chime in here, I think they woke up because all of their San Diego squad, or their cheering squad, the friends are on one of these luxury boats out here spectating, so they had to put on a good show.
Do you sense a bit of favoritism on Katie's part
Nah.
in San Diego?
Well, I've got a few questions from the social media. Was it a shortened course? I don't believe it was.
1.5 mile
yeah,
length.
yeah, they kept it the same length, but they just changed the direction just to give it a fairer downwind course. But look at that, Southern on the track suggests they're back into 4th place. This will be
my gosh,
quite the
kidding.
turnaround.
And where's New York? Just behind in 6th. American Yacht Club in 5th. Your top 3, Yacht Club Argentina in 3rd. Royal Thames back where they like to be in the hunt for the front in 2nd. San Diego Yacht Club in 1st. So the storylines today, Andy, are going to be number 1, San Diego, unbeatable. Two bullets if it stays like this. And then this team, Southern Yacht Club.
Well, I tell you, those New Orleans folks, they sure know how to recover from a disaster, that is for sure, and that's what happened today.
Not just a recovery, this will be a very, very good race for them if they can stay where they are now.
Right?
Top 4? Wow. Never give up, that's for sure. They finished 3rd in the last race. That gave them enough of a cushion to maintain their lead overall. They then did 2 circles, dropped all the way back to 17th, and it looked like it was all but over for Southern Yacht Club's lead. And then out of nowhere, well, actually technically out of the left side, they're back in 4th place, only 1 point out of their finish in race 1 today. How about that?
Amazing.
Does look like it's soft out there.
Yeah, they still got another jibe in to go here. All the fleet looking to that right-hand side for more breeze. Now the left seems to have collapsed completely, having pumped in with a decent bit of breeze on the upwind. Now it's not the place to be.
It changes though, doesn't it?
I'm not sure there's going to be much change. They're pretty close to ley line now.
Are they?
They got one more jibe to do into the finish. San Diego will jibe in the next few boat
Yeah,
lengths.
they're doing it now.
Yeah, there you go.
Wide angles, big jibing angles downwind. Remember the finish line is moved to a new position here. This is the final run in race number 8. San Diego Yacht Club looking for a double bullet. Can't get better than that for the day in the Invitational Cup. 2 more days of full racing, 12 days on tap, on schedule, before the final awards banquet hosted by the New York Yacht Club, put on by Rolex. Spectacular event Saturday evening here at beautiful Harbor Court in Newport, Rhode Island. Who will take home the Invitational Cup? Any one of a number of boats can do it, but today San Diego Yacht Club definitely wins for the day. But Southern Yacht Club is the team that's impressed me the most in this race, for sure, if things stay as they are.
Cool and calm on board. I can't believe their skill or luck or a combination of all of them. Right back in the hunt now.
You tend to see the most talented teams get the most luck, because it's not really luck, is it? I mean, that is some serious skill to sail through this fleet. And this is one of the most talented fleets of amateur sailors and keelboat sailors in the world. Certainly one of the closest Invitational Cups we have witnessed.
I'm going to go for the jibe pretty soon, I think. They're looking at that ley line. Here they go.
It's going to be a very slow turn, keep the momentum up. There's both sails, so not really a late main jibe there. Puts the bow way up to keep the pressure on. For the heel angle, the crew hits the weather rail. Beautiful jibe there.
I think when it goes really light like that, you can't do the late main jibe because you just have to turn the boat. It's more important to get the speed out of the jibe than it is anything else.
Yep, and they're going to come out on a really hot angle, fill both sails, pump that boat flat. Now, track. Now that they've jibed, they are still maintaining 4th.
So 2 races today. We'd expect probably 5 more races to go. 3 tomorrow, 2 on Saturday. It's the most likely outlook. They might try, if conditions are particularly good tomorrow, they might try and squeeze in 4, but most likely 5 more races. So,
Just before the finish, let's get one more report from Katie. Katie, I've got a question for you.
Yes, Tucker.
Seeing as how the fleet has certainly shaken things up, do you have eyes on where New York is currently in the standings downwind?
Tucker, trying to get my eyes outside of the boat. I see a lot of American flags heading this way, and the breeze is down, but then it's up more towards that left-hand side. I believe they are in the mid-pack of that fleet, hopefully making their way down to the finish. This was not the best race for them, but that's okay. There's more racing to go.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Katie. And as this race winds down, we'll leave Southern Yacht Club and get ready for the finish. San Diego Yacht Club approaching the line. We'll work our way there or the overhead. There they are. Your winner in race number 7, the first race of today. Your winner again in race number 8 of the Invitational Cup. The West Coast team from Southern California, Tyler Sinks and crew, almost won the last edition of this event.
they got unfinished business, didn't they?
Certainly do, and they made that known to the rest of the fleet today. 2 bullets, 2 first place wins for San Diego Yacht Club. Wow.
On board with Royal Cork, Anthony O'Leary driving there, just in front of them to windward.
Royal Cork sitting in 9th place. Somewhere near New York Yacht Club in the standings of this race is a big, crowded pack of boats heading for the line. 2nd and 3rd, I think, Andy, are going to be somewhat established. Royal Thames, followed by Yacht Club Argentina, their best race. And then a big mix-up of boats. Southern Yacht Club trying to hold off the rest of the fleet and salvage a 4th place out of this. It's all going to come down to this finish, Andy. This is where the video recorders will be starting on the signal boat.
Right.
It's going to get busy. Just under their Spinnaker, you can see 2nd and 3rd. That's Royal Thames. Setting up for the finish. There they are, Andy. For 2nd place, very good finish for the boat that was winning after day number 1, former winner of this regatta.
So that puts Royal Thames on 41. That puts San Diego Yacht Club on 46. Royal Thames on 41.
I can hear your neurons working.
Okay, Southern, what is that? That's probably going to put them on
they're in
just
4th.
under 30. Well, no, 28. Ooh, I tell you, that is amazing work.
A 3rd and a 4th, particularly that last one. So there's the finish line for Royal Thames and Yacht Club Argentina behind them, getting a 3rd, their best
What a great result.
performance in the regatta. They'll get a daily 3rd.
Yeah.
They'll get a prize. I think there's daily awards. And look behind them, Andy, in clear air, uncontested for 4th place, the yellow or the gold Spinnaker of Southern Yacht Club. No one's jived on them. They put themselves in a beautiful spot. How do you go from 17 to 4th in 2 legs?
We got to stay. There must be some reaction. Look, ever cool Johnny Lovell. His brother flew in this morning, Andy, just to give him a little luck and love.
You know what I don't like about professional sailors, Andy? When they have a race like this, you never see them jumping up and down and cheering. But this is an amateur regatta. I want to see some celebration for Southern Yacht Club.
There you go. Oh, don't leave me hanging.
Almost got
Johnny, very happy.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Relief.
Yeah.
Exhalation on board. There we go. Couple more Louisiana style high fives.
Come on, man. Yeah, no hugging in Corona land, but high fives.
What do you got, Katie?
Yeah, we have eyes on New York Yacht Club, and unfortunately, they had to drive twice to just get clean air. They were really stuck in that pack of boats coming down from that right side when you're looking upwind, and they're just now finishing mid-fleet. It was not the best for them, but again, they're a solid team. I'm not worried.
All right, thank you, Katie. Katie, we didn't get the memo, Andy. We want only good news from you out there. I'm just kidding. So,
you know what? They look great doing it. So there's the positive note.
All right, so New York is in the back of that crowd. That crowd that was behind Southern, Andy, was Royal Canadian in 5th, American in 6th, Nylandska Yacht Club in 7th, the Roten Yacht Club 8th, Royal Cork 9, and Royal Swedish 10th before New York Yacht Club takes an 11th. And you can see them just taking their Spinnaker down here. There's a three-way tie right on the line. Andy, Yacht Club Italiano, Vancouver, Costa Smeralda.
50.
I mean, how do you call that? Inside boat, middle boat, outside boat? But that, we'd like to remind you that the scores are unofficial as we report them here in the broadcast and on TrackTrack until they are officially tallied. They sometimes are protests and various things. But the official scores will be on, here's a close one, Andy. Official scores will be on the Yacht Club website here, San Francisco Yacht Club and Eastern.
56 for Eastern.
Inside boat just gets it.
No, I think the outside boat 56 or 55.
Inside to the race committee.
Yeah, yeah.
And then finally, Itchner, Royal Bermuda, and Hoth. That'll round out race number 8, folks. What an amazing, you know, Andy, of all the races we've called together, when you get a light, lumpy one like this, you typically think, well, we've got our work cut out for us because it's going to be light, it's going to be slow, boring. It was definitely not.
Unreal. I mean, that's like last round of the Ryder Cup stuff. Fantastic. I just am stunned. I'm shocked. I'm amazed at the Southern Yacht Club's comeback. They got two penalty turns at the first windward mark for a port starboard, and they managed to claw it back. They got a left-hand shift up the second beat, and they clawed their way right back into the race. So the unofficial results are in 4th place. In 5th place, we've got New York Yacht Club on 50. On 4th, a benefit of those 2 wins, San Diego Yacht Club on 46. In 3rd place, Royal Cork with 43. In 2nd, Royal Thames with 41. But extending their lead, unreal, with a 13-point lead. Johnny Lovell and his gang of Southern Bandits on 28 points after 8 races with 5 to go, probably.
Well, we said at the top of the show this morning, in the beginning of race 7, this is going to be a high-scoring and exciting regatta. Well, today definitely proved that, and if you're a fan of Southern Yacht Club, you're pretty relieved after that race and pretty impressed with the 4th that keeps them out in the lead. There's a lot more action to come here in Newport, Rhode Island. For Katie Nastro out on the water, Andy Green and I here in the studio, I'm Tucker Thompson. Thanks for watching, and join us tomorrow. Race begins local time at 11 a.m. here for the 7th biannual running of the 2021 Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup. Thanks for joining us. The 2021 Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup is brought to you by title sponsor, Rolex. Regatta sponsors, Hammett's Hotel and Helly Hansen. Supplier, Team One Newport. And hosted by the New York Yacht Club.